Welcome, everyone, to Progressive Discussions. It is Sunday afternoon, like it normally is when I go on the air. I'm your host, James P. Madonna, and it is hazy, hot, and humid outside, but the air conditioner is blasting inside. And because I hate humidity. I could take the dry heat, but not humidity. I'm going to introduce my co-host. There he is, BC Beer Reviews from the state of Michigan. BC, how are you this week?
I'm doing okay. Actually, I'm doing really good this weekend. I really am.
Good.
How are you doing today, James? Hey, Ron. What's going on, Ron?
Here we have the legendary Ronald J. Terrio saying hi. 91 and very humid. Yeah, actually, the Gulf Coast they should call it the Steam Bath Coast. The Steam Bath Coast. Hey, we have Thomas Meadows, 75.
What's going on, Eric?
What's going?
Eric Frauenfelder is one of the musicians of the great independent heavy metal rock band Oxblood Forge, and they completed a gig last night at Dusk, a place in Providence, Rhode Island, I believe, called Dusk.
Correct. Yeah.
Isn't that true?
That was a good show last night. Yeah, we played pretty good. Can't complain.
Greetings to Colin.
Cheers.
No, that's good. That's good. Good to hear.
Now, it went well.
Very, yeah. I cannot complain.
And there's the one of the logos. Now, I do love that, and I think it's a work of art, and it's suitable. There it is, Oxblood Forge. It is suitable for printing on photo paper and framing, and that's the one where the Grim Reaper is taking souls on its back into the entering the pit of hell.
Let's go with that. Sure.
You remember? You remember that one that was created for Oxblood Forge by a fine artist. It looks like a really detailed computer art.
Yeah, my uncle does the out in California. He does artwork and he does illustrations and freelance, but that's kind of his job. And he gets a lot of clientele that are authors that want to have science fiction book covers.
Because it looked a bit three-dimensional. Really.
Oh yeah, he found so this thing over this guy over here. He actually found somebody that had to have had the similar kind of a build quality, and he was taking some photos of that guy, and he was using him as using this actual person as an actual model for creating the artwork of this. character that we call
okay.
the Decimator, which is the name of the album, Decimator. It's available on Bandcamp.
Now,
Oxford Forge.
now I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Now, this is more for Eric here. Now, there's been bands out there where they've had mascots, like, say, Iron Maiden's Eddie and whatnot. Now, my bigger question is do you have the same thing with your band where you have some sort of mascot?
Yeah, well, that guy right there.
Okay, what's his name?
He's called the He's the Decimator.
The
The
Decimator.
Decimator?
Yeah.
All right.
That's his name.
Awesome.
And we're gonna hopefully we can, since this last release that we did last June, hopefully we can use either this likeness, or we can come up with similar artwork that still depicts this character as a point of reference to, yeah, that's definitely the band. That's definitely Oxford. We know that.
Yeah, as a point of reference, yeah. Because I always thought that was kind of cool where bands would be like in heavy metal and they would have their own like mascot, like say with Eddie and so on and so forth. And it's like, sometimes they, like for an example, I'm just talking here, maybe this is just me, but it was like with Iron Maiden when they did their Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album. And that's a great concept album. I swear to God, I can listen to that album front to back all day, every day. And, they say, oh, you got to listen to the one before the time travel one. I've listened to it. It's good. But you know what? I still got to go with the Seventh Son one, man.
It's very commercially accessible. Yes.
Yeah. And,
and
it's something about your uncle's artwork that it's really very pleasing to the eye. I mean, I just kept staring at it.
We paid him a good bit of change to do it, so we were hoping it came out well, and cannot complain.
Well, let me see. I'm going to start off with something. BC, when what are you drinking? BC show.
I'm drinking all day IPA by Founders. That's what I'm drinking today.
All day IPA.
Yeah, all day IPA. This is what the can looks like. I know it's a little tough to kind of see with it being glossy. I haven't got the safety on there, but it's a pretty good dry beer. I mean, if you're the dry IPAs, this is the one for you. Because I've been noticing that I've been jumping around with these dry IPAs like N43, B43, and even with the 200 ale. And it's like a lot of these dry IPAs, I don't know what it is. It's just good to me.
Goes down very it has a refreshing snap to it, right? The dry.
Yeah, I mean, it's dry, fresh, clean, and it's just good all the way around to me.
Are they hazy? Are they hazy? Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, not entirely much. It almost looks like your run-of-the-mill beer almost, but it's just light. I mean, very slightly hazy. But I mean, it's really good. I enjoy it. So
great. It looks good, and I would say it's an ideal summer craft beer. As opposed to something sweet. Like I've tried, and Ronald knows, I've tried the standard sake and I've tried the dry cold draft style sake, and they're quite different. And I like the dry one. I like the dry one. Same thing with champagne. If you or like I usually, if I need champagne, I usually use the cheap one, Corbel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'll get the dry one.
No, I've got kind of a question / joke here for you guys.
Sure.
Okay. And just take it lighthearted. I don't be nothing by it, but what drink does a ninja usually drink? They give them more punch.
What drink does a midget prefer?
Ninja.
Oh man, yeah, the poor midgets. You know, they don't want to be called.
You're gonna have to tell us, Beastie.
Yeah, they don't want to be called.
I thought I did.
They want to be called little people, or if in Ireland they call them the wee people, right?
Short people.
The wee people.
The wee people. Hey, Commodore is back. Commodore himself from Boston, Massachusetts, now residing in St. John's. Of the New Brunswick, Canadian Maritime Provinces, and he's there now. He's at work. He's doing accounting. I only see his eyeballs and the top of his well waxed and well polished head. I don't see his face. I know he's not shy, but maybe he became shy.
Kind of like Wilson off of Home Improvement. All you see is his eyes and forehead.
I'm just having to relax myself. I'm just having a tad bit of the Barcelo Dominican rum Dorado Añejo. But I'm having it in my Dollar Tree Fiesta mug.
Whoa, yeah.
I call this my all-purpose mug. And whoa, that looks good. That looks like a mango smoothie. What do you got there?
I'm trying to remember the internet would tell me. I remember the last time recently. It was within the last couple of weeks, within the month. Oxblood Forge. Almost spilled the beer over the top of the glass. Woo. We played a couple weeks ago in the state of Connecticut, in Jewett City, Connecticut. And along the way there, I found on the internet a brewery to try, a local Connecticut brewery right over the border of Rhode Island. It's called Black Pond Brews. This is their moves, and I guess in celebration of them moving to a new brewing facility. 6.5% Citra, Cascade, and CTZ hops. It's a very good New England IPA. It's got really the perfect amount of sweetness in the malts. It's got the grapefruit kind of rind, or like the pithiness of that grapefruit. Very white bready. It's got a little bit of the velvety smooth texture, and it's not overly hoppy, nor is it overly boozy. I mean, it's only 6.5, but nice, easy drinking stuff. So
yeah, it looks really good. I know
medium body. Yeah,
you are partial to the hazy IPAs in general, whether they be New England or West Coast, mostly New England, because you probably between southern and northern New England, there is probably a lot of great craft breweries collectively.
Sometimes too many. They can start to flood the market a little bit. And,
between New Hampshire.
Some people
this is true. Yeah.
People can get burned out over time, and it's like, okay, now everything's tasting the same. Oh no, it's all blending together.
Well, no, I hate to say it, but I had one beer reviewer mention to me that all I do is review IPAs. Now, in my own defense, yeah, I gotta admit, in a way, I do review a lot of IPAs. But then again, that's kind of what all I got. Well, I wouldn't say that's all I got around here, but IPAs are pretty much abundant around here, and there's so many, it's kind of hard not to do them. But then again, if you do so many of them, it's like, oh my God, they all start seeming the same.
Yeah.
So I mean, the break, I guess, habit is start doing other beers like whatever, like Kolsch or something, just to break the monotony of the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, what you could tell, they're getting bored because the flavors are getting much more wacky, as far as the
the newest, biggest and greatest and latest thing is they call them heavily fruited sours, where they basically have the taste and texture and mouthfeel of a smoothie or of a Slurpee from 7-Eleven. And it's good.
Oh, I mean, some of them are some of them don't sound appealing like the one those that use pickle juice and I mean I just can't. I love pickles, but not in the beer. You know. Yeah, I love those big, huge, crispy dill. I guess the rustling was coming from Commodore's office. All right, let me start with this. Here we go. Now what?
12 who get pregnant as a result of incest, meaning Mississippi's Republican Speaker of the House has made clear that girls as young as 12 who get pregnant as a result of incest, meaning a family member molesting and raping them, should be forced through that pregnancy and to carry that pregnancy to term. A 12-year-old. Now, let's talk about how this all went down. It all started when an Associated Press reporter by the name of Emily Pettis had asked him, hey, what about this situation? You guys are super restrictive in regard to abortion in the state of Mississippi, but what about a case involving incest? Well, Mississippi's ban on abortion does not include an exception for incest, Gunn said. And Philip Gunn is the name of the Mississippi Speaker of the House. As the Free Press, Ashton Pittman reports, I don't know that will be changed. Asked if he believes the legislature should revisit that part of the law, the speaker responded, personally, no, I do not. He says, I believe life begins at conception. Every life is valuable, and those are my personal beliefs. Now, he was pressed on this issue further by another reporter. Let's hear how that went down.
So that 12-year-old child was missing by her father on so she carried that child to her.
That is my personal belief. I believe life begins at conception.
Live streaming can be tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right software to make your streams look professional can be a real chore. The thing I like about StreamYard is that the user interface is really simple to understand and can give you a professional look without a whole lot of trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing next.
Yeah, bum, get lost.
There was a skip ad button, by the way.
Oh, there we go.
He believes life begins at conception. So even before a fertilized egg implants on the uterine wall. Okay, so if that is a human life that apparently deserves more rights than viable, living, breathing human beings outside the womb have, what happens if that egg fails to attach itself to the uterine wall? I know that I'm using words about human anatomy that he might not understand, so I apologize. Maybe I should speak a little more slowly so he could look these things up. But should that woman be charged for murder?
Yeah, or should a man who masturbates be charged for murdering spermatozoa? You know, I think that's coming next. A fertilized.
No way to enforce that one.
Yeah, right. How are you going to enforce it? A fertilized human egg is no more a baby than an acorn is an oak tree. It is a potential life. Potential. There's no heartbeat. Yes. How are you going to enforce all the right-wing religious freak zealots that want to say you're murdering sperm? How could you possibly enforce? But there was a woman from Delaware that ran for Congress, an ultra right-wing evangelical young female, not bad looking, where she wanted to bring men up on charges for masturbating and murdering their spermatozoa.
How does she expect the police to actually do anything about that?
Well, she was probably a plant. She probably wasn't a real candidate. A lot of times people act like they're called agent provocateurs. You know,
Yeah, well, her campaign didn't last, and I wasn't surprised, but it was a long time ago. But she seemed to be very uptight and angry towards men. So there's always a ulterior motive, when anytime attack men.
If her body rejects that fertilized egg, so, I mean, it's life at the moment.
I'm sorry, Ronald.
Just saying, a lot of times it's not that uncommon for people to pose themselves as something to try to discredit the other side, and it's also not unusual to. And they also like to use straw man arguments. A very common tactic is to use straw man arguments.
Well, propaganda is a very slick, sneaky, devious, and sly system of psychology. It's done in many ways.
Right, and this news story that I'm watching is very biased, but they try to present it as like an objective news story, or just reporting the news. That's clearly not the case.
Right, correct. All right.
A bit of conception, right? And why don't we start there? Why don't we start with your ball sack? Okay. What happens with all that sperm that you just spilling on the ground in your bed sheets when you have a wet dream? I think you're.
Hey, honey, you want to talk about wet dreams and ball sacks with me? I got no problem with that.
Giant murderer. We need to investigate.
Yep.
There needs to be surveillance cameras in his bedroom.
Hold on, BC, were you about to say? Were you?
Yeah, I was about to say something. Hey, if you ever want to invite her to come on the show to talk about semen and ball sacks, hey, I'm all for it, man. That's going to be one hell of a discussion right there.
Well, I'm looking at her luscious, full lips. Anna, her name is. She's a regular on the Young Turks, and they're from.
Oh, okay, yeah. Man, that reminds me of that dude that's out there too. Man, freaking the guy that's out there.
St. Iker?
Yeah, I guess he went to Sandy Hook and he offered everybody $100,000 to say that it never happened.
Oh, really?
So,
LA.
Yeah.
They got good. It's a good underground news media that they deal with reality. They don't really they don't make up any nonsense. They don't tell people to inject themselves with Clorox, so to cure the virus.
Oh yeah.
What's going on with that? What's happening with all those human lives? I mean, these people are a joke. And look, that might sound like a ridiculous extreme argument, right? Well, let's take a little trip to Mississippi. And really examine whether this Republican leader in that state cares about human lives. Turns out that infant mortality is highest in the great state of Mississippi. They care about babies so much that they allow so many of them to die in Mississippi. So you're looking at a chart that was put together by the CDC. This is based on data from 2020. And the darker blue the state's coloring is, the more infant deaths they have. And as you can notice, Mississippi is dark blue. Okay.
All of the worst in the land are Republican states.
Yeah.
This is an infant mortality. The issue that they claim is their number one issue, saving the lives of children.
Yeah.
They are the absolute worst in because they don't actually care about that.
Let's take a look at this list. As you can see, Mississippi comes in at number 1 when it comes to infant mortality. So the death rate, 8.27, is out of 1,000 live births. So out of 1,000 live births, 8.27 infants die. Coming in at second, unsurprisingly, Louisiana. Third, West Virginia. Fourth, Arkansas. Fifth, Alabama. And then look, oh wow, South Dakota also makes it on that list.
All deep red states don't care about children's lives one bit. All they care about is controlling women's bodies. And by the way, one of the senators from Louisiana, who came in number 2 worst, said, yeah, but that's only if you factor in black people. I mean, if you just look at white folks, we do relatively okay.
No, you don't actually.
But by the way, I mean, look at how callous that is. No. Oh, black babies dying. I don't care at all. Well, the only relevant people are white people, and we do mediocre in that. No, these people are disgusting and sick.
Are they providing health care for people who can't afford it in the state of Mississippi? No.
Hyundai Sonata.
Well, they fight like hell if you're in the womb. As long as you're in the womb, they'll fight like hell for you. But once you're born, both the mother and the child are considered moochers. You're on your own.
Come on, get out of here.
Honda versus Honda Accord.
They're moochers. You're on your own, unless you're born with a silver.
In fact, we talked about soft.
Unless you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, I mean, then you're hunky dory. Or he's not going to say ball sack anymore. Too bad. But anyway, let's see. We have some fast and furious messaging here.
I'm not sure how we can conclude simply from that little graphic of the darkest to the lightest of the darkest blue states that automatically that you can use the symbolic logic here and say that because there are all these children's lives, deaths out there, that means that those states don't care anything about children. That's like saying I don't like bananas, but I like oranges. That means I don't like fruit. Like what? I don't get that. I don't get the logic there. They're just trying to paint. They're trying to paint a picture, like Ron said. They're trying to paint a picture very clearly that they don't agree with a lot of what's going on. But if they're going to present it as a news story, they're not doing a very good job. If you ask me.
Yeah, these pro-abortion people.
But who really does that these days, right?
Yeah, these pro-abortion people, they are so predictable, and I challenge any of them to come on my channel, but then they're not going to do that because they're going to get embarrassed, but they're not going to come out of a controlled environment. They just like to push their abortion argument in a controlled environment. They're not going to push it in a free debate. No way, Jack. That lady would never come on my channel because she would get very ashamed.
The life of the mother, who is somebody's daughter or sister or what have you, cousin, it should be saved above and beyond a fetus or an embryo. That's how I feel. I wouldn't want my sister to give up her life for some embryo or fetus.
Right.
No, but these people, they want abortion. Of course, I'm anti-abortion. You got me. But they want abortion up till 1 second before the baby's born. That's how these people are. These people are radical, man.
Yeah, but that's
some of them want abortion after the baby's born. In fact.
Yeah. No, that's
how the hell can you do that?
That's blatant murder.
At that point, I agree with.
I'm talking about conception, and it is not scientifically proven to be a child or a human being. I'm talking. You don't wait until the baby becomes a fetus or embryo, whatever, or embryo that breathes like a fish. You don't wait that long. You terminate it when it is, conceived. Why should that 12-year-old or 10-year-old who gets raped by an uncle, victim of incest, why should they carry that baby
for 9 months?
For 9 months to term, or if they know early on that it's going to be disabled or severely deformed. So what does that mean? If they know early on, what does that mean? That the mother has to take care of it for the rest of its life?
I just think you got to be able to make your own determination how you want to raise your child.
Yeah,
that's all.
But then again, the question has to be asked. I've heard the stories of women. Oh, I never knew I was pregnant this entire time until I sat down on the phone and poop, there's the baby.
How could you not know at a certain point?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. I mean, I just don't get it.
The German government, the German National Socialist government back in the 1930s and 40s, they believed in having good life, what they called good genetics, eugenics, good genetics. So they definitely believed in aborting what they would call lives unworthy of life, meaning disabled, mentally retarded, a drag on the better human, what you would call it, gene pool. And so, yeah, that was an old.
Yeah, I mean, I see what Ron said. Yeah, because once you start getting these guys with disability, I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
No, so they definitely took action against what they would call sort of like looking at a garden, and you weed the garden. You take the weeds out, and you keep the plants, and that's what the German government's approach was from 1933 to 1945, the National Socialist government, because they wanted to make a better
stronger, faster people.
Yeah, a better set of human. So
I believe it with Germany.
You know, there's a difference between fascism, socialism, and communism. You know, a lot of Americans that are unfortunately that are right wing tend to throw in the word commie and socialist and
fascism,
dictator. They throw all these words into the same punch bowl, you know. But there is a difference.
Right. I do use those terms, but only in a precise manner.
I'm not making that up, James. Germany wanted to create a guerrilla human hybrid
I'm reading
strong soldier for their armies. It's a well-known fact. They were trying to play around with.
Well, they did selective breeding, just like thoroughbred horse breeders and
right, sure, yeah.
And showed thoroughbred.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that doctor of with the island of Dr. Monroe.
Oh yes, the island of
Dr.
Monroe.
Dr. Morrow.
Dr. Mengele?
Dr. Morrow.
Wow.
But
anyway, you know,
listen,
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to say, in my viewpoint, I'm standing up. That's why you can't see my face. In my opinion,
you are standing up.
Well, because I had put my camera. In my opinion, I'm against abortion. You know, I think it's terrible. Yeah, you're right. In Iceland, there are no more mentally retarded people because they exterminated all of them. But that's just the way I feel about it. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't make the argument against abortion in a quick 5-minute thing, you know. So, but that's the way I stand, you know. But the abortion industry, they like it a lot, you know, and it's a big business, you know. You can make a lot of money off of that, you know. So
who's gonna with the economy and the job market being the way it is, who's gonna support all of these unexpected children that are forced to come into this world, into this nation? I mean, who's going to take care of them?
Well, if it's a deadbeat dad, it's the government. That's who it is.
Hey, you think
the same argument? You know, you get rid of people because you don't want to support them. You know.
Right. Well, there's something called the IUD. There's a woman, the man should get a vasectomy, and a woman should get a tubal ligation. Then, if they don't want to ever have kids, they should be more responsible. But I mean, if I knew a female whose life was in danger, then I choose the female that I know that's already on this earth. Okay, I don't care what any fanatic out there says, and that's my take on it. Yeah. Well, you know, where does it end? Where does it end? The evangelical zealots will say,
right.
Looks like some southern states, you know, sex toys are illegal in Alabama. You know, I mean,
but my hand's not. Come on.
Yeah, where I mean, where does it end?
But if you have federalism, it doesn't matter because different states can control their internal affairs according to as they see fit.
Right.
You know, This is not a unitary. This is not supposed to be a unitary government. It's supposed to be a union of states, not an empire. And a lot of people, liberal and conservative, a lot of Republicans don't understand federalism. They don't understand that each state's supposed to run its own internal affairs. They want to dictate how the whole country lives. But that's an imperial approach. That's imperialism. I don't support imperialism.
Oh no, I can't stand imperialism. Then you might as well go back to where there was no middle class, and you had the destitute, very poor, and you had the king, the monarch.
Yep.
You know, and they said you can't hunt in the king's forest. Like
a lot of people today want imperialism, not with a king, but with a federal government dictating what states should do. That's what they want.
Now turning back the clock is what a lot of extreme, let's say, neoconservatives pretty much want to do. Like let's say the 19th century. 19th century, there was no social safety net. There was no. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Oh no! It's
just do it. Just do it.
The Commodore's office. There's banging going on.
No, it's at BC's. It's at BC. There we go. Better. Thank you. Continue. We want to go back. They want to go backwards, right? Backwards.
They want to go backwards. If you're poor, they'll say, "Well, go ask your local church and ask your family and friends, and if you can't get money to live on from them, well, you die."
But I feel like that. I know what you're saying about that, and you're coming to the same conclusion I'm about to, which is why is it somebody else's? Why should somebody else feel bad that I don't know how to put that really, but why should it? I mean, I guess what I was gonna say was, and here's what I mean to say. What I was gonna say was, why should I feel responsible for the position you're in life? But I think the other way you can look at that is with another question is, why should I feel bad? Why do I have to feel bad that you're in that position that you are? What led up to, depending on what led up to this position that you're in, I mean, maybe there's real honest to God reasonings why this happened to you in your life. But if there's not really whatever we're classifying as a good reason, you decided not to do X, Y, and Z that could have, helped you get along and wherever you're going. Otherwise, why should I feel bad for you? If that's what happened, you did a series of unfortunate things that screwed up your life. It's like, well, you didn't have to do those unfortunate things.
Right, and when you create a welfare state, you create a whole culture of people that are dependent, lazy, don't want to work, and want to take your money so that they can play video games, watch television, eat fattening food, fill their yard up with junk and appliances, and then have a bad attitude about what you owe them. And that's what we have in America today.
Well, this is why there should
it's the pity me generation. Yeah, it's the pity me generation.
A mandatory tubal ligation for women that want welfare for more than for any additional child that they have. If they have an additional child and get welfare to support the child because the daddy's a deadbeat dad and he doesn't have a pot to piss in. And
the problem with all of this now, you could look at China and how they try to, I don't know specifically, but they try to do something about population and the amount of children you can have. It's just a problem enough where they have to. They don't really have much of an option. But here in the United States, it's not like the government it's not like you're getting, I don't even know how to say this properly, but you're the one that's having the kid. The government's not having a kid. The government's not saying, okay, you can have a kid. Okay, you can have a kid. It's like, oh, we had a kid. Oh, help me. Oh, God. Like, yeah.
Well, let me say this one more thing. I don't know why people were so upset about the recent Supreme Court ruling. They were saying they're taking away people's rights. Well, they didn't take away anybody's rights. All they did was say that the power to regulate that practice is properly to be done by the states. Because in 1973, the court decided, oh, no, that's protected by the Constitution. Well, of course, it's not, because the Constitution doesn't even give that power to the government. the U.S. government. So it's clearly a state power. Whether you like abortion or don't like abortion, some people love abortion like they love carrot cake. Other people hate it like they hate the devil. Okay. So,
I don't know about that.
Fuck.
They got people that love abortion like it's their religion. But what I'm saying
a weird
is,
thing to love.
It's a gruesome thing to love, but they do adore it.
Yeah.
But it's state power. It's a state power. It's not a federal government.
Well, they're trying to sabotage the Constitution of the separation of church and state, and you nobody's religion should affect any laws because no one has been able to prove that their God exists.
Well, no one's legally obligated to practice a religion.
But in that recent case, whose religion are they talking? They didn't even talk about religion or abortion. They talked about the legal idea behind it. They didn't say abortion was good or bad. They said legally it's a state power. It's not a federal power. It was never delegated to the U.S.
Well, look, if the American citizens don't have a pot to piss in, and they really can't afford to have children, or let's say they already have a couple and they don't want any more, get the tubal ligation, well, it's better than the man getting the vasectomy because he shoots blanks. That's not good.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and the alpha male book of laws and bylaws, that's not a good idea. But let her. She should get a tubal ligation and be done with it, or an intravenous device or something, and take responsibility. But as far as rape goes, I don't think it's fair to have a minor female.
It's not fair. It's terrible. People that rape people should be punished without any kind of sympathy. Okay.
Well, the woman should not be forced to give birth to a baby out of incest or give birth to a rapist baby full term. A fertilized egg. Look, there's a lot of religions. There's a lot of fanatics out there that are really part of a cult. I'm sorry. Organized religion, there's a lot of religions where they're part of a cult, and they can say anything they want. A fertilized egg is a fertilized egg. That's it. It's not a child. Well, there's really a lot of wackos out here in America today, and
what does an embryo turn into? A tree? A Buick Regal? No, an embryo develops into a child. No, it only develops into a child.
There's no embryo at conception.
Well, essentially there is, because it becomes a baby. It doesn't become anything else.
Well, it's a potential life, like an acorn, like I said before, becomes an oak tree. It's potential life.
Right, but you don't kill it. You're alive. You're alive. You have a life. No one killed you.
Well, because my mother had me while she was married. I wasn't an accident. She said it was pre-planned because she wanted to move from Massachusetts back home to be near her family, her parents, and it was an excuse to get the hell out of the army base, Fort Devens, where my father was stationed. So it was all pre-planned, But the thing is, a fertilized egg it's not a human life yet.
Just a blob of cells. But it's alive because it's growing. But it's alive.
Hey, should we?
Dead things don't grow.
This is a different turning event. Should we stop eating? Should we stop eating eggs? Those could have been chickens.
Oh yeah, right. What about the fertile eggs?
They're animals. They're animals. They don't have rights like a human. You know that as well as I do.
Poor chickens. The
poor monkeys. They went to court and tried to get rights. That didn't work either.
I mean,
I guess veal's on the table. Yeah.
I love the flavor of an organic, free-ranged, fertile egg. I had 4 of them just before, 4 poached turtle eggs, and you know what? I don't feel the least bit guilty. Yes, they could have been chickens. You know, we could.
Yeah, but then again, you know how fast chickens reproduce, so I mean, does it really matter? That's the real question.
Humans have rights. Humans have rights. Humans have rights, but animals don't, because humans were made in the image of God, and animals are not made in the image of God.
True.
Although I don't like animals, and I think animals should be treated. I don't believe in mistreating animals. I agree with that.
Well, I believe in humane dispatchment. Humane dispatchment of life. When a heartbeat is detected, that is when technically when a baby begins, not fertilization.
Okay, but that's just an arbitrary determination, really. But okay, let me ask you this question. I'm not trying to comment.
Hey, Bart. Welcome, Bart. Go ahead.
Hey, Bart.
What? Wait, where's it coming from?
Oh, it's sounding like an industrial plant.
Yeah, it's not from me. It's
somebody working in a factory here. All right.
No.
I don't want to dominate, but what I'm saying is, let's say I'm gonna give you a hard case, okay? Because the abortion people love to give hard cases. They always do that. They never say, well, what about this lady who likes to sleep around with multiple guys and she's getting pregnant all the time and she just wants to kill a baby because she don't feel like having it. They don't mention that because, you know, that's
but she should be held responsible by law by getting her to tubal ligation. Otherwise, no welfare for you. You are
no.
You're like,
in fact, if she has all these babies, then they demand that the daddy take care of the baby and pay child support. But if she wants to kill it, he has no right to interfere with that. So that's unfair. But let's say I want to abort the baby. I want to abort the baby, so the man should screw off. He has no right to my body. Now, once I have the baby, oh hell, he's got to pay for 18 years. And then he found out that the baby wasn't his. But anyway.
Well, why should nobody ask the father if he wants to be a parent? Like the woman gets pregnant and right away they go after the father. And she was, you know, and she, right. It's a gravy trick. Yeah.
We're in the money. No, but let me ask you a hard question. Okay, you talked about a heartbeat. Let's say the woman, for whatever reason, let's say she got raped or whatever, but she didn't do anything about it. I guess this could happen. Then she finds out later, oh, I'm pregnant and I don't want to carry this rapist baby, but the baby has a heartbeat and it's like 2 months old and it's growing and it's sucking its stomach. So what do you do then? You kill the baby anyway because she shouldn't have to carry it, or you say, well, no, it has a heartbeat, so it's alive, so you got to let it live.
No, she carries the baby to term, and then she puts it up for adoption, and says, you know, and that's it, and be done with it, you know. But
yeah, but then again, you're getting that situation where the kid wants to find out what their parents are like, and guess what? Who's knocking on that door? 18 years later.
That's when you say your father was a no good scumbag, evil rapist. He's a rapist. Yeah.
All right, at least the kid's alive. At least the kid's alive. You know, it's like, at least he's alive. He's not dead. I'd rather be alive than dead myself. That's me. Personally, I'd rather be alive than dead. Even if my father was a rapist and that's how I was conceived, I'd still be I'd rather be alive, you know.
I was gonna say, hopefully he or she's not in the alleyway shooting heroin or something. Holy crap!
Right. There's a lot of people in the ghetto that, or it could be a white woman like Octomom from Florida that she has 4 children already, and then she goes to the doctor and she takes fertility drugs.
Yeah.
Prescribed by the doctor, and then she proceeds to have 8 more children. Octomom, what is she doing taking fertility drugs if she already has 4 children? And the doctor, the irresponsible doctor that gave it to her, and then they're all welfare babies, of course. She sits on her ass.
You know, Yeah, see, now that I don't get. Now, see, if we were back like 100, 150 years ago, and some mother had 8+ kids, okay, fine, dandy, that's great. Because why? Because they're generally working on a farm at that point, and you need all the hands you can get. And that's just fine because you need them extra hands with them kids. But if you're living in the inner city, it's a different story altogether. So, I mean,
you can't fit inside of those apartments in the city if you have 8 kids.
No, you can't.
Oh, I don't know those Italians and Irish crammed into those tenements.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm not in that
New York
family.
City, they were in there like ants in an ant pile. I don't think.
I believe it, Ron.
Yeah.
Amen.
They had like 12 kids. Those Italians in New York City had like 12 children. They were crammed in there. Like,
you got to make the pasta.
You know,
man, forget the bunk bed. They've got like a bunk bed where they got 4 of them stacked up, man.
And you know what? Poor families like in Latin America, for instance, they have relatives sharing the same bed.
Yeah,
I mean, they cram people in the same.
Oh, that's
they gotta take shifts to go to sleep. Yeah,
that's what I was just gonna say. Yeah,
then you gotta smell your relative's body odor and have their dead skin.
But at least the bed is warm, though.
Grandpa Joe got the opportunity to leave that bed, and he said, "Yes, ma'am, thank you." Woo!
Grandpa Joe farting under the sheets.
Dutch oven.
That's a Dutch oven, yeah.
Now you know, religious extremists. Many of them believe the planet Earth is only 6,000 years old, and they believe the dinosaurs were existed during biblical times. And that they I'm telling you, they disregard science completely, and I respect science. So
the dinosaurs are just here to throw us off, man. That's all it is.
I don't know how old the Earth is. I don't know how old the Earth is because I wasn't around.
You know what the born again evangelicals believe that all those videos of UFOs, those are demons flying in the sky to deceive us. They're not really UFOs.
What are they deceiving us from?
That the government's actually UFOs.
Yeah, they don't believe in extraterrestrials. They don't believe in carbon dating, archaeological carbon dating. Big families. Yeah, turnip farts. Well, all I know is that anything in the cabbage family induces flatulence, and asparagus makes my urine stink to high heavens. That's all.
It's not just
I can attest to the freaking cabbage, man. Oh my god, I've eaten so much cabbage where I just.
Now, BC, how does your body react to, let's say, Taco Bell bean burritos? I mean,
oh my god, man! I'm sitting on the toilet for half the day, man. I'm telling you that right now.
I don't want to be there when that happens.
Oh man, trust me, you don't want to smell it neither, man. God, I hate smelling that shit, man. I swear to God.
He's exercising. He's doing lateral raises.
Man, I'm just glad there's an exhaust fan in the bathroom, man. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just listening,
Oh, okay.
You don't eat much. You don't say much. I'm just listening.
The devil, yes. I don't know. I mean, we don't know. We haven't been able to prove. What UFOs are.
They're a phenomenon. Next,
it's a phenomenon. They haven't. There was no
phenomenon.
I would like to do a tribute to Oxblood Forge. Commodore Tijuana Brass, I'm playing.
No, not Oxford Forge, but
no, there was no. Listen, all the high tech, all the drones they're using, and all the high tech equipment out there, they haven't been able to really find Sasquatch and get a real close up. So Sasquatch is still a mystery. Loch Ness.
I love that. I love that movie. What was that movie? Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, it was.
I watched that as a little kid. Yeah, man.
In honor of Ronald starting an exercise program. Let me see if I can play Let's Get Physical. Remember that? Libby Newton.
You gotta play We're the Best Around. No other. It sounds more like circus music over here.
The Exorcist, right? Well,
Father Ripper.
I listened to Exorcist, the one from the hit show, The Ghost Adventure of the Bishop Brian Ouellette, and he doesn't say the Earth is 6,000 years old, but he does definitely detail about evil forces out there. Look, the one thing the forces of evil have in common is they're experts at deceiving, and they can deceive the best of us and lying too.
Plus, they love abortion. Right.
Lying and deception. Okay, now to get off the subject onto a very important subject. I'm going to bring up Let's Get Physical.
What a lame song.
Hold on, I gotta collect my train of thought here.
Whacked you up.
No, he's not.
Well, James, I'm gonna get going, but I appreciate you letting me join.
Hell yeah.
Inflation. Everybody's talking about it, but ignoring what.
I appreciate you coming, and there are other topics of interest, but if you really need it, if you really have to go, then thank you for coming.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not an emergency to leave, but I got some things I want to do. Inflation. Oh, that's a great topic. Inflation. Oh, yes.
Yes, the topic of inflation. But if you stay, wonderful. If you have to do some things, personal things, thank you for joining, and come again, or if you're finished and I'm still here, come back.
Okay.
Either way.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
One of its biggest causes, corporate concentration. Now, prices are undeniably rising. In response, the Fed is about to slow the economy, even though we're still at least 4 million jobs short of where we were before the pandemic. And millions of American workers won't get the raises they deserve. Republicans haven't wasted any time hammering Biden and Democratic lawmakers about inflation.
Skyrocketing inflation.
Inflation. But don't fall for their fear-mongering. Everybody's ignoring the deeper structural reason for price increases, the concentration of the American economy into the hands of a very few corporate giants with the power to raise prices. If the market were actually competitive, corporations would keep their prices as low as possible as they competed for customers. Even if some of their costs increased, they would do everything they could to avoid passing those costs on to consumers in the form of higher prices, for fear of losing business to competitors. But that's the opposite of what we're seeing. Corporations are raising prices even as they rake in record profits. Corporate profit margins hit record highs last year. You see, these corporations have so much market power, they can raise prices with impunity. So the underlying problem isn't inflation per se, it's lack of competition. Corporations are using the excuse of inflation to raise prices and make fatter profits. Take the energy sector. Only a few entities have access to the land and pipelines that control the oil and gas powering most of the world. They took a hit during the pandemic as most people stayed home, but they are more than making up for it now, limiting supply and ratcheting up prices.
Chevron, Exxon have doubled their profits. This isn't about inflation. This is about price gouging.
Consumer good. In April 2021, Procter & Gamble raised prices on staples like diapers and toilet paper.
Yeah, I was never a fan of Pocahontas.
Hey, man, she is from well, I don't know where she's from, really. She is one of the senators of our state and only got 4th in the votes in our state for president. What does that really say?
She's not from New England. She's from Oklahoma originally.
Jesus.
How does she end up in Massachusetts? I don't know. I really don't know. How does anybody end up far away from where they're from? I mean, it could be. I know where Nancy Pelosi, her husband is from San Francisco. The Lush, he's from San Francisco, and she's from Baltimore. They have an Italian community in Baltimore. Yeah.
Citing increased costs in raw materials and transportation. But P&G has been making huge profits. After some of its price increases went into effect, it reported an almost 25% profit margin. Looking to buy your diapers elsewhere? Well, good luck. The market is dominated by P&G and Kimberly-Clark, which not entirely coincidentally raised its prices at the same time. Another example, in April 2021, PepsiCo raised prices, blaming higher costs for ingredients, freight, and labor. It then recorded $3 billion in operating profits through September. How did it get away with this without losing customers? Pepsi has only one major competitor, Coca-Cola, which promptly raised its own prices. Coca-Cola recorded $10 billion in revenues in the third quarter of 2021, up 16% from the previous year. Food prices are soaring, but half of that is from meat, which costs 15% more than last year. There are only 4 major meat processing companies in America, which are all raising their prices and enjoying record profits. Get the picture? The underlying problem is not inflation, it's corporate power. Since the
Joe Manchin is running it, Jason Cleveland.
80s, when the U.S. government all but abandoned antitrust enforcement, all American industries have become more concentrated. Most are now dominated by a handful of corporations that coordinate prices and production. This is true of banks, broadband, pharmaceutical companies, airlines, meat packers, and yes, soda. Corporations in all these industries and more could easily absorb higher costs, including long overdue wage increases without passing them on to consumers in the form of higher prices, but they aren't. Instead, they're using their massive profits to line the pockets of major investors and executives, while both consumers and workers get shafted. How can this structural problem be fixed? Fighting corporate concentration with more aggressive antitrust enforcement. Biden has asked the Federal Trade Commission to investigate oil companies, and he's appointed experienced antitrust lawyers to both the Federal Trade Commission and the Justice Department. So don't fall for Republicans' fear-mongering about inflation. The real culprit here is corporate power.
There's a comet very close to Earth, people.
Apparently.
Yeah, 11 miles away.
No. Time out. The comet is 11 miles wide.
Oh, 11 miles wide. That's pretty
Damn.
Big. That's pretty big. Yeah, 11 miles away. It's
not very far
we're
away.
all doomed, right?
Yeah, the comet's backstory. Astronomers first spotted the comet in 2017 using the Pan-STARRS survey instrument in Hawaii. At the time, they said it was the farthest active inbound comet they've yet seen. It was between the orbits of Saturn and Uranus when they first saw it. Now it's in the inner solar system with its closest approach to Earth on July 14th. The comet will be closest to the sun several months later in December 19th. With the smallest telescope, you should be able to spot the comet throughout the summer. There you go.
I just want to present a toast to the new James Webb Telescope. There is no comparison in the detail.
Oh my God, the pictures are so great, man. Oh my God.
The clarity compared to the old Hubble, no comparison.
Yeah, compared to the two, oh my God. Well, here's the James Webb Telescope.
Lunge to James and his Webb telescope.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I don't have any rum. I got to pour, but I had to make a fake sip.
I wonder if I can find some photos. James Webb.
Hey, sometimes the gesture means a lot sometimes, man, and that gesture meant a lot. So hey.
Yeah. We're gonna federal spending through massive borrow flooded the U.S. economy with dollars. This is the major reason for inflation.
Borrowing, sure, yeah.
Like inflating the balloon. More dollars equals less spending power.
I mean,
you think it has to do with coming off the gold standard?
I don't know.
Wasn't the gold standard? Took it off way long ago.
Was that during Nixon or something?
I was thinking Theodore Roosevelt.
Really?
No, I think you're right about Nixon there. Yeah, there used to be the gold standard. Then it's determined by the conversion rates around the globe. It's even more confusing how it works.
Yeah. Well, Ronald says virtually unlimited dollars buying a limited amount of goods causes price increases. There's many factors involved. It's not written in. It's not in black and white. It's in shades of gray. So many factors here. Let's see.
Okay, look at this.
Is that
all these goodies? Yeah, this is from web.nasa.gov. Let's see. Can I get a little bit big? Oops. Can I get a little bit bigger of an image? Maybe. There's one of them. Wow, look at that one. Damn, right?
I saw the image of Jupiter by the James Webb, and that was beautiful.
Look at this one. It looks like galaxies like colliding or coming together or something.
Proxima Centauri. They call that the Eye of God. That nebula. I think it's a nebula.
There it is.
Now this is interesting, Eric. This is actually a James Webb image of deep space of all of the countless galaxies that are out there.
Look at that.
Okay. Yeah. Those are all galaxies. And I think they got a good image of Proxima Centauri, Alpha Centauri.
Let me try to count these. 1, 2, no.
So Hillary is going to keep running until she looks like an old sea hag. Is that what she's doing?
Oh God. There goes the telescope.
Oh, that's when James Webb took off?
It looks like it, yeah. Look at that. Ooh.
Now Elon Musk is SpaceX? He's working on the nuclear powered reusable rocket.
Yeah.
Or I guess if it's a rocket, then the spacecraft can most likely be nuclear powered also.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, I'm surprised Jason ain't out here today.
What's that?
Surprised Jason isn't on here today.
Well, Jason, he's here in spirit, and he's
I see him in the conversation. Yeah,
but that's another private talk show in itself.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, the reason why he's not here physically.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and Commodore is at work, and if he talked, it would keep him from getting his accounting done. That's why I want everybody to realize he's not mute. He's not like Harpo Marx. People ask me, well, is Commodore able to speak, or is he a mute? I go, no, he's not a mute. He had a child with his stepdaughter. Oh, really? Well, I mean, that's kind of gross, but even though they're not relatives, you know, but
that kind of sounds like a porno, man.
You know what? You know who had who fooled around? You know who fooled around with his stepdaughter? A funny-looking
Jerry Lee Lewis.
No, even worse.
He shook some nerves and he rattled her brain.
He shook some nerves and he rattled her brains. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
I'm sure that's what she was saying.
Goodness gracious, blue balls of fire.
Ball sack. Somebody should use ball sack in a song lyric. Ball sack, as Anna was flashing here, big pouty lips. What's his name? Woody Allen. Woody Allen fooled around with his.
Oh God, Woody Allen.
Well, you know, there's a band called Gwar, and they have a member of. There's a band called Gwar, and they have a member of their band called Ballsack, the Jaws of Death. You would like Gwar. They're hilarious. Right.
Yeah, I've seen Gwar. Yeah, I know who they are. Yeah,
I saw them cut off George W. Bush's head, and it was everywhere. I saw them cut a literal cop that looks like a pig. He cut his head off.
Okay, Jason. Jason is having now. Hold on to the counter. He's having, and this is not a rare occasion. This is common with Jason on the weekend, on Sundays. He's having about 10 family members over for dinner today. 10 now.
Wow.
These are 10 in addition to you, your wife, and your daughter, right? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have to pay for all of the food and hooch to entertain these 10 relatives? Is it coming out of your checking account, Jason? I'm just wondering. Wow. So the dollar is going towards what it was worth during the Great Depression, like confetti. Interesting. Yeah, 10 relatives. Oh my goodness gracious. Cut off the Pope's head. Hold on, Jason is replying to me. Yes, I am paying for all of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so that means ipso facto ergo, we're dealing with moochers.
Minnie the Moochers?
Minnie the Mooch, Cat Calloway. She's a,
oh yeah.
She was a real hoochie coocher. Coocher.
Poor Min, poor Min.
Yeah, I like when he went hidey hidey ho.
Hidey 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 ho.
Hidey, it reminded me of Mr. Hanky. Hidey hidey hidey.
Hidey. Oh, look at this. This is Gwar. I hope you're probably going to get some copyright slaps, but mostly Gwar has a really great show. Here's all the members of Gwar in their crazy getups. They usually have somebody of kind of significance, like a pope or like a cop that looks like a pig, and they do some pretty crazy things.
It's going to be a huge job.
Wait a minute, Trump. You just come out here and start demanding that we get rid of aliens. You know what? We are aliens. I don't like that shirt you got on. It looks like you're in Board of Osiris or something.
I know, man.
What do you got there? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, we are aliens, Trump, and I think that you are a fucking racist.
Wow.
Not true. Not true. Not true. Not true.
Is it true? It's very unfair, isn't it? All right. Let's kill this motherfucker.
Not true. Not true. Very unfair. I mean, I love the Hispanics.
Come on, Trump.
I love Muzzies.
What do you do?
I even love the Nick.
This is why you go to a Gwar show. You want to watch this happen.
Kill him.
Yeah, and I don't want to get in trouble for music.
No. There you go. Let's get to the good part, shall we? Oh, no.
Yeah. Fast forward to the good part.
There you go. They got Trump. There you go. They killed Trump. Well, kind of.
Oh, what happened to him?
That's what they do during I tried to save you from copyright infringement with the audio.
Oh, where they got nuked?
Pretty much.
They nuked him?
They got a chainsaw. And then when you're in the crowd, you actually get that fake blood spray, which is why a lot of people in the crowd at a Guar show, they wear white T-shirts on purpose.
Oh, gee.
So they get the blood spatter. Yeah.
So then they could save the white T-shirt and say, "Here is an authentic Guar concert blood."
Anyways, that's what happens at a Guar concert. I will leave it there. Wow,
that is cool. Yeah, so
I'm not a racist.
Now look at this. Meghan Markle has the nerve, that arrogant bitch has the nerve to want to run for president after she.
What is she going to do for the country?
Yeah, good chance of winning the presidency on that one, Megan.
First man is going to be Prince Harry.
Prince Harry.
Oh, so he's going to be the first man.
Now,
Prince Harry is going to be the first man.
The first
ever, literally.
Now, after she barged into the royal family and expected special treatment,
she was doing Prince Harry,
and then played the race card and went on Oprah's show. Now she wants to be the president of the United States. The false prophet, you mean Michael Hilton, and the beer masturbator, Chubsy Ubsy Alex.
Chubby
I don't know. Hey, Eric, do you still have that real funny photo of Mike with his hair sticking up in the air? I wanted to show Jason.
I do. Here we go.
Okay, get ready.
I'm Batman.
Get ready, Jason.
No, I don't have that crazy photo. I only have this.
You know which one I meant? Oh, you don't.
I know what you mean. And here's your crazy hair photo.
Well, it's not Mike Hunt.
What did you just say?
Michael Hunt.
That's not Mike Hunt.
Okay, this one is infuriating if you are not a fan of Mark Zuckerberg. He warns Facebook staff he will be turning up the heat to weed out underperformers. You might decide this place isn't for you, and that's okay with me. Well, you know what?
I do a lot of business with Facebook in my company.
What about all of the ill-gotten gains that he accumulated by selling personal information off of Facebook members, and the constant barrage of spamming that gets thrown at you, but mostly selling your personal info. So he doesn't look at what he does to make a buck. So now he wants to be a slave driver, which doesn't surprise me. So that's Zuckerberg. All right. I really hope Elon Musk ends up buying Twitter.
He's not going to buy Twitter. He's suing Twitter.
Oh, because they had a deal pending.
Something like that, yeah.
On his purchase, and they reneged on.
He's never going to buy Twitter at this point. No, they'll have to buy some other platform like TikTok or something. Maybe that's a better idea.
Maybe even Instagram.
You know what? How about you just stick to the outer space and Tesla cars? You're doing pretty good there.
Yeah.
Why waste a good thing? Why spend more time on things that aren't going to really work out?
Yeah. Oh, okay. No. If he decided, he must have good reason. He decided not to buy it.
The bank account was there for it.
Yeah, I got my Twitter account after more than a year. I think reinstated.
You're a twat. You tweet.
I'm a twat. Yeah, I kept on appealing. I kept on appealing my case.
Hey man, buy this beer if you haven't had this recently.
Torpedo Extra IPA.
It's a good one. I like it. I haven't had that recently. I bought a 12-pack of the Sierra Nevada beers, and it has a Torpedo Cold IPA, which is another trend in craft beer, utilizing either lager yeast or unfortunately, sometimes they're using the adjuncts of your rice and your corn to get it to have this really crispy, lighter, refreshing body to your IPAs. Yeah. Sometimes they're using corn in IPAs these days. I know you're not a big fan of adjunct lagers there, James.
No,
yeah.
Not really.
But I suppose there's a difference between the corporate version of using those ingredients and buy them as cheap as you can.
Crazy things for dinner, or sometimes just a basic gift card.
Maybe.
Hello, everyone.
Well, this is positive news based on science. Okay, everybody that likes automotive subjects would love to hear about this. Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest is the most excellent beer.
That's a really good beer.
Oh, it's a great company.
They were, I think, the Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale that comes out every winter for their winter variety. That's their fresh hop IPA. That came out in 1980. They've been around for a little while with the beer craze. But Toyota.
Okay, this is about Toyota developing, and I think they started mass producing the first hydrogen combustion electric car.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about the work Toyota is doing on developing hydrogen combustion engines. So the idea is, what if instead of making a whole bunch of new electric cars, we instead took the combustion cars that we already have built and converted them to hydrogen-based fuels? And so instead of using a carbon-based fuel, which has carbon emissions, you would have a hydrogen-based fuel, which just has water as its emissions. So you would eliminate those carbon emissions. Now, that sounds like it would make a lot of automotive enthusiasts pretty happy. So what Toyota did is they created a Corolla Sport that was powered by a hydrogen combustion engine, and they entered it into a 24-hour endurance race. And so this is powered by a 1.6-liter turbocharged inline 3-cylinder that comes from the GR Yaris, and then it's been converted over to run on hydrogen. Now, it's not nearly as simple as saying it's been converted over to run on hydrogen. It's quite a process. In fact, back in 2016, they were still using a 50-50 mix of gasoline and hydrogen because it's very difficult to get it to run on hydrogen alone. But here we are 5 years later, and they have a functional hydrogen combustion engine. So this engine operates much like a typical gasoline engine. It has 4 strokes: intake, compression, power, exhaust. It has direct injection for the hydrogen fuel, and it is spark ignited. So in comes oxygen, you spray in hydrogen, and then your emissions are water. So how do they do in that 24-hour race? Well, the results are less than ideal, but I think keep in mind, it's a proof of concept vehicle really that's going out there. So in the 24-hour race, they were able to travel 1,634 kilometers, about 1,000 miles in 24 hours. So not super far. 12 total hours of driving, 4 total hours of refueling. They had to refuel 35 times, which gives them an average refueling speed of about 7 minutes. So 7 minutes is a decent amount of time to refuel, though compared to, of course, an electric car, significantly quicker to refuel. And then 8 hours of time spent repairing the vehicle from things that had broken and doing safety checks to make sure it was safe running around out there. These hydrogen tanks are storing that hydrogen, compressed hydrogen, at about 10,000 psi, 700 bar. Now, we need to discuss emissions because it's not quite as simple as you take oxygen and hydrogen and then out comes water. So, of course, air has nitrogen in it as well, and because your combustion temperatures within a hydrogen engine are high, you do actually have nitrogen oxides forming. So that's one of the harmful emissions that you're creating. And then the other is actually CO2. So where does this CO2 come from? Well, your engine oil. So it's a small amount. You have engine oil underneath, and that oil can come in through the PCV system, positive crankcase ventilation system, or can come through as blow-by and be burned within that combustion chamber, and then you're going to have those carbon emissions. So I thought, it's worth figuring out exactly how much might that be. So let's say you have a car that burns a quart of oil every 3,000 miles. And my fellow enthusiasts of old Hondas and Subarus, you know what this life is like. I've lived it many times. So we're burning 1 quart of oil every 3,000 miles. Motor oil is about 85% carbon, and it weighs about 8 pounds pounds for a gallon of it. And then a molecule of CO2 is a carbon with 2 oxygens. Looking at their atomic weights, 12 for carbon, 16 for oxygen. So for every pound of carbon that you burn, well, then you have about 3.7 pounds of CO2 produced, because that carbon is, 12/44ths of that.
We need the infrastructure to be able to support this. And then we need, so here's the problem, even with electric cars, I feel like my neighbor literally just got a Tesla a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know what they got set up in their garage to do any of this. Oh man, I don't know if they got set up in their garage to do any of this, but it's sort of the same thing. Do we have the infrastructure to satisfy electric vehicles? Are they cheap enough for us to buy as a collective society? Is there enough places to go where you can make sure your car is charged when you go into work, you go to the shopping mall, you go into the grocery store, you go to the liquor store, you go to the gym, or wherever it is? Where are you plugging this in most of the time? Not at work, I bet you, but maybe it's getting better. Who knows? The infrastructure to support those kind of alternative fuel style vehicles, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the electric cars like the Tesla, not you have to just to charge that lithium battery 50%. It takes like a half hour or 45 minutes just to go 50% charge to not a complete charge, 50%. And then there's a long line you have to wait on before you charge the lithium battery. But what that man didn't mention in that particular video was the fact that there is a hydrogen electric vehicle where the hydrogen produces electricity to charge the battery with a very small engine. So it is like, I guess you would call it a hydrogen hybrid of sorts. Okay, Jason, are you there? Now is your chance. Actually, it's everybody's chance to get a nice, clear image, which should not be difficult. Let me know.
Shane, we're done. We're done.
Everybody's done,
Yeah,
Jason.
we got the fictitious image. All right, we're good.
Fictitious, Jason.
Yeah, fictitious. Yeah, we got the image. All right, we're done. We're done with live screen up, BC.
Okay, let me go back.
This is a little cruel and unusual, such as. Well, one person doesn't care about cruel things that are cruel and unusual.
James is cruel and unusual. Hello.
Hello. Nice.
I'm cruel and pendulum. Am I really cruel and unusual?
Much like
telling the truth, or is just I am?
Yes.
Because I am cruel and unusual. Oh my goodness.
On your own show, you got to expose. Hey, you see my new name now.
Bargain hunter. You're not only a bargain hunter, you are a procurer of bargains too. You procure.
You mean I'm a pimp? All right.
Yes.
Okay. A procurer is a pimp, right?
Oh, come on now.
A procurer is a pimp.
Put me on big screen because I'm going to show you what I procure.
I said shake, rattle, and roll. Was that? All right, here we go. I gotta go blow my schnozzle. Excuse me.
Hopefully that's not
all right. Here I am back in my office.
I think BC should do commercials for Salmonex. What do you think?
No.
I don't. If you put me off sleep and you put me on screen, I'm gonna have like a alias names and everything. Start off nice and get you relaxed, and then I'm gonna say things. Remind you of someone? All right.
You were chopping up.
You were chopping up like an onion.
Your audio was chopping up.
Breaking up?
For breaking up with me and Eric.
Anyways, continue. We'll try to be with
okay.
Continue.
I was trying to bring up a website. That's why I was chopping. Am I okay now?
Yeah.
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 My audio's okay. I was trying to find out the relative humidity right now. It's 93 degrees right now, but I think the humidity is like 70.
Oh, man.
I have a beer. I'm drinking natural ice. I know James loves macros, so I did that in his honor. But if I ever fall asleep on these hangouts and James shows me, I'm gonna get revenge. I'm going to adopt 1,000 alias names, and then I'm going to come on his channel and start making comments that seem nice at first and become increasingly hostile. Will that remind someone?
I had you in the middle of the wheel last week.
James, is somebody in the basement?
No.
I heard a ding.
Yeah, but I don't see anybody here.
Interesting. Okay, very good. I will turn off notifications on Hangouts so that doesn't happen. All right, good. All right, continue. I think I had notifications on. All right,
back to Ronald.
Back to bargain.
All right, where's the where's the web page that you wanted to bring up?
Oh well, I was just going to find out what the humidity was. I'm going to show you. All right, so I found this. Somebody's moving furniture around. I found this.
I hear the commotion.
Just turn everybody off.
Stop the commotion. You're going to make me snap.
I still hear the commotion. Hey, Drunken One, how you doing, man?
Hi, Drunken One.
Sweet
dreams. Drunken One is probably referring to Rip Van Winkle here.
Yeah, but people got to sleep. Yeah. If you make me mad, I'm going to snap. Now listen.
Well, he was he probably got very relaxed from the show, and it's
right. I was at CVS Pharmacy, okay?
Right.
Last week. I think the Commanders got all that noise.
Hold on, let me see. I hear it sounds like.
Right. You got it, Thomas.
59% humidity where you are at there, Mr. Rontario.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was. Okay, not so bad. 93 degrees, 59%. That's low for Louisiana. Sometimes it'll be 100%. I was at CVS Pharmacy last week looking around because they sell liquor at CVS Pharmacy in Louisiana. And I found this, and it was $9.98. $9.99.
Wow. Sullivan's. O'Sullivan.
That's an Irish cream?
O'Sullivan's. Oy.
Irish cream. Awesome.
Wow. You got a lot. You got a wide variety of Irish creams down
there. I like Irish cream.
Really? I never realized it was limited. And for $9.99, that's a great deal, I can show you some other bargains if you want to see them.
But it has to be ice cold, these Irish cream people.
It's about
I like bourbon cream too.
But same thing with the rum chadas. The rum chadas, cream of rum should be ice cold too.
Eric, hold on a second.
Ooh. Oh, humidity.
It's gotta be pretty
Labor Day weekend, and then the weather should be getting nice. Extra Brooks bourbon.
Yeah, Ezra Brooks.
Wow. This guy's got.
I got this at Walmart for $11.99.
I was gonna guess 15. Pretty good deal.
I think you are on the verge of passing up the Whiskey Scout in your collection. Maybe you.
I don't know about that.
He's got top dollar stuff. He's got really good stuff. I'm dealing with but
well, he's a geologist. He can afford all that.
Yeah.
I don't know where that sounds.
It's coming from the Commodore.
Remember I told you about the sausage from French Settlement, Louisiana? Oh, sneezy. Oh, sneezy.
God, Jesus. I'm hungry for sausage.
Oh, sneezy. He's got COVID. I don't wish that on anybody. I'm just kidding. When James gets back from his sinus attack, I'm going to show y'all what I did with my sausage.
Hold on, I have sinusitis issues. I am back. Oh.
Okay, so Matherns, wait. Oh, wait.
No, I'm coming.
Matherns had this sausage on sale because it was short dated. But I don't worry about that too much because this stuff is smoked in a smokehouse. I don't think it's going to go bad too quick.
No, it's not.
And it's called
French Settlement South Sausage Company. Hot. It's a hot smoked sausage from, of course, it's gluten free. No MSG.
It's from French Settlement, Louisiana. And it's a very small little company. Look at how much sausage. Look how much sausage is in this bag.
Oh, you can. Ay.
Gotta call the paramedics while I'm talking.
What was I gonna say? You can, being that it's smoked, you can remove them and put it in a Ziploc, or you can put it in the freezer just like that, Ron. Like smoked meats freeze very well.
Well, I took two of the links, and I put them in the oven for 30 minutes. And here's how they came out after I baked them in the oven.
Oh, how was it? It looks great.
How was it? Oh boy.
I could tell it's tasty as hell.
I wish you could smell this over the internet.
The what do you call the skin, the casing looks like it is a home style.
Look at all the fat all the fat that bubbled out of it.
That's a real old world sausage, smoked sausage.
Yeah,
that is really great. Do they speak with the French accent in French Settlement, Louisiana?
They might. They just might. A lot of people around here do. French Settlement's not too far from here. It's only probably 45-minute drive. I don't have a French accent,
ABC. No, you don't. You don't have it, and you told me Justin Wilson used to fake it. So
I guarantee.
I got this at Total Wine yesterday.
Hold on, let me check you out. Oh, look at that. A jalapeno with what are those? Limes?
A little blurry.
Yeah, it's a little blurry.
Are those limes, Ronald?
It's jalapeno flavored vodka. Distilled 5 times. It's distilled 5 times. It's jalapeno flavored vodka. Well, that's something different.
Sure. And what I would do.
79 cents.
Well, your party bucket is going to be so full that
79 cents. Damn.
It won't rattle.
79 cents is a bargain.
Yeah, those are all Fandango
Contenders.
Contenders, yeah.
Like chicken tenders, they're contenders.
Like chicken tenders.
And I'm getting hungry. I wanted to grill earlier, but it was raining. There was a bad thunderstorm that came in. I'm sure it's as humid as
I'll tell you.
Backyard.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna cook after Ronald gets back. What my dinner is going to be. Well, if I won the Powerball lottery as a hobby, I would open up a distillery in the state of Idaho and call it the Heidi Ho Organic, the Heidi Ho Potato Vodka Company, and it'll be. I will use only organic potatoes.
That's a good idea.
It'll be Circle K kosher only if I don't have to pay a fee every year to keep it kosher. If I gotta pay every year, forget about it.
Oh yeah, you gotta pay the fee.
Every year? No.
To continue to be certified, yeah, you probably have to pay a fee, I bet you.
Yeah, organic.
You have to pay for something every year.
Idaho vodka.
Idaho.
Western Sun. Ooh, look at that. Lime, blueberry, and peach.
It's vodka, flavored vodka from Texas, Pilot Point, Texas. These are bigger bottles. These are 100 milliliter. They're not the airplane bottles. These are 100 milliliter.
But they're small.
But they're still small. But you know what I paid for these?
How much?
3 bottles for 99 cents.
Wow.
Not 99 cents a bottle. 3 bottles for 99 cents total.
Wow, you are the bargain hunter. Damn.
I am the bargain hunter. I'm shaking it up. Getting ready for Friday.
My prediction is that you're going to have so many airline bottles that you're going to have to use like a Rubbermaid garbage can to shake. That party bucket won't be big enough. It's possible. It's possible, as Popeye used to say. I'm having for dinner grass-fed, farm-raised venison hamburger.
Oh wow!
I got 1 pound, so I'm gonna make an 8-pound venison hamburger with Arnold's organic 12-grain bread.
A little.
And as a side dish,
patty melt.
Maybe. I got some Mexican cheese. As a side dish, I'm going to stir fry some fresh broccoli flowerets.
Sounds good to me.
In my wok. Now, I could probably cook the venison burger in the wok, also on the side a little bit.
That'd be nice and crispy.
Yeah, the wok is carbon steel, so it gives it a nice, crispy, like braised browning.
What happened to BC?
BC, sometimes he does that because his cough is really severe.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes.
I don't think it's his Wi-Fi because his Wi-Fi has been working.
Yeah.
Throughout the show, so he's, if he feels better, he'll come back.
Okay.
So anyway, back to Ronald, the bargain hunter.
Oh, I do have a couple of more bargains I can show you if you want to wait about 1 minute.
Yeah, I'll check out a couple bargains. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got the window. I'm in the dark, kind of, so to speak, because there's so much heat outside. I put this blackout curtain to keep the heat out. I'm trying to save every
I don't
dollar.
blame you. I bought some room darkening curtains at Walmart. They sell them.
Now in the wintertime, I do it opposite. It'll be cold and sunny. I have all the windows open, and the heat comes in from the outside. It doesn't really feel that cold in the house.
Right. Okay. Don't get offended. Nothing personal, Eric. Nothing personal.
Well, it's not a German beer. I'm having fun that day, apparently. I'm having fun. on. Is that the photo of a hypocritical feminist in the middle of the wheel? No, it's not.
All right. Now
we're gonna
now, brown cow. How now, brown cow? The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. All right.
Yeah, but Spain is dry from what I hear. Does it rain there?
No, but it rhymed in that. It rhymed in that.
All right. Before you begin, good morning, my dear Masumi Matcha Milk. Good morning, Matcha Milk and Masumi. It is now 5:44 a.m. Monday in Tokyo. So good morning to you there, Masumi. There, welcome. Okay.
Konnichiwa. All right. Now, this is for Eric mainly because I know Eric likes better products. This thing normally sells about $40, $50. But I got it at a place called Aquista Paces. Aquista Paces. Quite a name. And they had it on sale for $29. And it is a full-size bottle. It's a liter bottle.
Cuddy Sark. Prohibition edition. Wow.
What does Scotland know about prohibition?
Nothing, but it's a
right.
It's 100. But they claim they used to bootleg it into the United States. Yada yada yada.
Oh, okay, sure.
But that's why they have to ship, and all. But it's 100 proof. 100 proof.
Oh, wow. Huh.
It's not the regular old 80 proof. It's 100 proof Scotch.
Huh.
And this one you don't see too often. But they had it on a bargain, so I figured I gotta buy it, And it's a 1 liter bottle. It's 1 liter.
Wow.
29. And most of the stores have the regular $7.50 for about $40. So.
That's a good deal. It sounds like a good
I
deal.
wonder how they snuck it in. Did they have to have a different label on it? Like with some code, you think?
Well, I don't know what the time period was, but there was a time period. Well, actually, I think it was Old Forester in the late 1800s that in this country came up with the idea of actually putting whiskey into bottles. So there was a giant portion of time where whiskey was only just done in the barrels, and they were shipping it around that way. And you could not even tell quality because people would open up the barrels and they would put water in there and cut it down.
Old Forester was the first bottled whiskey. Yeah. So I went to Trader Joe's in May, I think it was May, and they had this liter bottle. It's got to be a liter because it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 liter. And it's Trader Joe's brand blended Scotch whiskey. And I think Trader Joe's has good quality products. And this was $10.99.
Really?
$10.99 for
go back to Trader Joe's.
Wow.
Blended Scotch whiskey aged for 3 years, 40%. But you see, most Trader Joe's don't sell liquor, but in Louisiana, it's everything goes down here, And one more thing, or 2 more things. I went to, hey, BC, he's back. I went to Total Wine and More, and they had this blended whiskey from Ireland that was $17.99. It's called Kavanaugh. I did some research on it. It looks like it's pretty good. People like it. And then the last one, I don't want to keep, I'll start boring people. I can understand that.
No. This is like intermission. It's like a halftime game. Halftime
intermission. I found this one. They claim they're the oldest distiller in Ireland, continuous distiller. It's 84 years.
Hello.
And hello, BC.
Hello.
Hello. See?
Hello.
We're full screen on BC. There we go. Back to Ron.
And this product I bought at Total Wine yesterday. It was $15.49, which is a good price for Irish whiskey, which tends to be a little expensive. It's called 2 Gingers. And it's got the Irish flag.
2 Gingers, yeah.
It's called 2 Gingers?
I believe so. Isn't that your favorite thing, James? 2 Gingers?
Ginger as in the spice, or ginger as in the redheads?
Yes.
I know the Commodore is very partial to redheads.
It's just the name, yeah. It's not really it's not a spiced whiskey of any kind.
Yeah, and maybe
No,
it's like
no, it's something to do with owners, and both of the women have red hair or something. Yeah, something
They are
like
redheads
that.
in Ireland a little bit.
Yeah, if you look at the website, it's something to do with that. You know. But anyway, I think I got a lot of good deals, and now I don't have to buy any liquor for like 2 or 3 years. No joke. I got so much of a backlog.
I have to look for that Prohibition edition. That seemed like a pretty good deal for the price.
Yeah, but I'm afraid you're not going to find a leader for this price. But I was glad I jumped on it, and when I got home and I checked online stores, I knew I got it at least 40% off. So I was very happy. And it's got a black bottle. It's a black bottle, you know.
Black bottle. I've never even heard of the Prohibition edition. That's pretty cool.
100 proof. Can't wait. I can't wait.
Wow. Yeah, Louisiana it's gotta be the alcoholic beverage bargain capital of the nation.
Unless you go to the French Quarter and go to the tourist spot called Bourbon Street, you're going to think it's the most expensive alcohol location on earth.
You mean they charge premium prices for cocktails for the tourists?
It's where the tourists go.
Oh, give me a break. You'll pay a fortune to drink beer and liquor down in the French Quarter, and people go there and they do it all day long.
That's like going to Fremont Street in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Well, Fremont Street. I hear they have also a lot of street performers there too.
If you get off Bourbon Street, and go about 5 blocks into the neighborhood where no tourists go, you'll pay 20% of what you would pay on Bourbon Street. You'll pay so much less for food and drinks.
Yeah, Fremont
Street. You're not in a tourist spot.
Fremont Street's no good. I remember I went to Vegas one time only, and we're like, let's go to Fremont Street. Okay, that's an ugly section of town. It's just overcrowded and whatever. I remember a dude wearing diapers coming up to me, giving me samples of lotion. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Samples
I
of
was probably
lotion?
high on methamphetamines or something.
Yeah, was it lotion or was it something else?
I wouldn't want to be around that kind of thing.
Exactly. That's why Fremont Street's gross.
Ugh, disgusting. I know like Midtown New York is a huge tourist trap too.
You got that naked cowboy guy with the guitar.
I guess they do what they do because of the human traffic in the area. As long as the bodies are going back and forth, they're going to get away with.
I got so ripped off in Little Italy in Manhattan. It is unreal how much I paid for that rip-off meal.
Wow.
Well, what aggravates the hell out of me, when you pay a high price and you get like a small portion where you can actually see the outer part of the plate. You know, the outer part is visible.
I went to this Italian restaurant in Little Italy, and the guy was like, "Hey, come on in and try our Italian food." I go in there, I get a plate of ravioli, and I swear it was like 3 raviolis on a plate.
Damn, what?
Yeah, but were they huge raviolis or were they average looking raviolis?
Oh, 1.5 inch square.
What a ripoff! Oh, screw them.
I said, man, I could have gone to the grocery store and got a can of Chef Boyardee ravioli, and I had more than this.
Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee.
Should have gotten that.
That guy. You got to have a real huge pair of brass balls to go to street perform at Times Square, and do something embarrassing, like Eric mentioned, the cowboy wearing the Speedos or whatever he was wearing. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most expensive place in the country to do a street performance. Is that, I know what you're talking about. It's I think it's the corner of 42nd Street and
actually never been.
42nd. What is the 7th Avenue? I think it's. I think it might be 7th Avenue, where all the glitz and glitter is.
Yeah.
Where the ball comes down for New Year's Eve.
Oh, the ball comes down.
Yeah, the very heavy ball.
I'm not a big fan of their sports teams. Obviously, living in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I know. Last night it was not good for the Red
Sox. Oh my God! I was playing a concert. I was playing that concert.
The Red Sox got massacred.
I was playing that concert we were playing in Rhode Island, and my phone said 14-1. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And my parents told me it was that way from the very beginning of the game. It was that bad the whole way through. I was like, damn.
The pitcher.
And then Chris Sale comes back for the Red Sox. He pitched within this last week against the Rays. He didn't end up getting a win, but he did really good for his 5 innings. And then I heard today I don't know if he left the game, but he got hit by a pitch in his wrist, of all things.
That's not good.
Now with that, they need to trade him. He's nothing more than a doorstop, and he's just taking
doorstop.
He's like a paperweight. He's just taking up real estate.
To get hit in the wrist of all places. Jeez.
Yeah. I say they need to trade him for 2 relieving pitchers and a really good outfielder. That's what they need.
Yeah. Chris Sale?
Contract. Yeah.
Yes, bargain hunter.
Bargain hunter.
Chris Sale, that guy was a maniac when he was with the White Sox. Why do you think the White Sox got rid of him? He's crazy.
Yeah. Apparently.
You know what he did at the White Sox?
He had a rehab stint a couple weeks ago in our farm system before he came back up, and he wasn't happy with the way that he performed, the way the game was going. He was throwing around television sets in the dugout or whatever it was.
Right, and you know why he got sent away from the White Sox, don't you?
Not really.
Okay, you want to hear this real quick story?
Sure. Yep.
All right. He was a pretty good pitcher at the White Sox, and they liked him. But 2016, it was the 40th anniversary of the White Sox unusual uniforms they wore in the late 70s, late 70s, early 80s. So they went to have the 40th anniversary of those uniforms. And he told the team, well, I don't like those uniforms. They said, well, that doesn't really matter because that's what we're wearing Sunday. It's a commemorative thing, and we got all the fans coming. He said, well, I don't want to wear it. They said, well, you have to wear it because that's what the team's wearing. So before the game, he went to the locker room real early after they put all the uniforms out on display for the players to put on, and he got a big pair of scissors, and he cut all the uniforms up for every player in shreds and told the team, we're not wearing these uniforms. I cut them up. And that's when the White Sox said, oh, he's crazy. He's going away from this place. And they never let him play again after that. And Boston foolishly agreed to this guy. As mentally unbalanced as he was.
Crazy.
And the White Sox said, oh,
he proved that point again, like I said, when he did a couple of weeks ago, last week with that rehab stint, he threw the TVs everywhere. He obviously proved your point pretty much there. He's still that character. Yeah. Yep.
So they could not wear the commemorative uniforms because he destroyed them with scissors. And the team said, oh, you're paying for that, though. You're paying for those uniforms. So he's mentally unsound. That guy's sick.
Yeah. I'm not very trusting. I'm not very trusting of him at this point in time, even with the rehab stints and everything he's trying to go through. It's a waste of time at this point. I really think it's a lost cause. I really do.
I heard a lot of the contracts are going to be up soon.
Oh yeah. I forget what it was. It was the largest contract, but it was a bigger contract he got when he first got here to the Boston.
No, I mean, like the other players, like Bogarts. I heard the contract is up for renewal.
Yeah, the bullpen's falling apart a little bit. It needs a little retooling. The bullpen's not able to keep the team of Boston relevant inside of these games, deep into the 7th and 8th innings. They're not able to do it very well.
They should get back Mookie Betts. Is he still with the Dodgers?
No, yeah, he's with the Dodgers. Well, in that process of the Dodgers, we got Alex Verdugo, which has been a extremely, extremely nice asset to the team, and I don't want to see him go anytime soon. I like
know Jason's being sarcastic right now. Jason's got to be sarcastic right now.
Probably.
Oh yeah, the green agenda. I'm more for a pure, pristine planet Earth. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. However, you get this thing called. They could have changed the terminology. I don't remember, Ron, but there was a law. Was it the 80s or 70s, or was it the 90s? I forget. The whole 3 decades, I forget. But it was called the Clean Air Act. There shall be clean air. And that's literally what the act said. Well, how do you implement that when it just says we need clean air without any rules and regulations?
Well, that was passed in 1970 under the Nixon administration, and they did clean up a lot of the pollution and to a very large extent. But the green agenda is more about helping liberal Democrats who are in cahoots with alternative energy companies get their juiced up stuff promoted, like windmill power and all. Because a lot of Democrats, I am a Democrat, okay, I'll admit that. But a lot of these, like James calls them neoliberal Democrats, they have under the table connections to windmills, other alternative energy, and that's why they're promoting it. They don't really care about the environment, but they do care about their re-election fund.
Well, the neoliberals are the ones that allowed the you see that there's two factions or sections of the feminist movement. There's the half that was fighting for a woman's right to vote and so on and so forth, and women in the workplace. And then there's the other half, which does not care for men much, that changed, marriage laws and so on and so forth. And the neoliberals are allowing this feminist lobbying group. That's the reason why the family structure, the traditional family structure, heterosexual relationships have been screwed.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but I'll tell you real fast. You know Orangey?
Yeah.
Little Orangey, who's laying on the back porch right now. Believe it or not, I taught her how to ring a bell.
Really?
Yeah, because she would get on the back porch and she wanted to come in the house, but she can't speak English and say, "I want to come in the house." So
no, naturally,
she would scratch at the back screen. I had a vinyl screen, fiberglass, and she shredded it. Just kept clawing at it, and it was shredded. I had to rip it off. So I went to Home Depot and I bought a metal screen, and I put it back on with the tool that they sold me, and it wasn't too hard to do. Well, she started pulling at that, but I said, I know what I'm going to do. I had a bell that I bought at the Liberty Bell Museum in Philadelphia, and it rings, ding, ding, ding. So I took a wire and I wrapped it around a nail that I nailed into the door frame, and I hung the bell from the wire, and I showed her. I said, look, when you want to come in the house, you ring the bell, and then I'll hear you, and I'll come get you. So I started ringing it in front of her, and I batted it. I said, you ring the bell, okay? And she's watching me. The next day, at 3 in the morning, because I get up early, 3 in the morning, I was getting ready to make my coffee, and I hear ding, 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 ding. And she's like, meh. So this morning, she did the same thing. Ding, 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 ding. She learned how to bat it with her hand.
Oh, yeah. Well, you go like, you make believe you have a cat's paw, and and then she'll swat it. And then once she swats it, hears it, she'll do it all the more.
Right. So this morning, I was getting the coffee made, and here I hear bing, 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 bing. I said, you learned how to ring that bell. And she was watching me. So that's a pretty smart cat.
Yeah, no, cats, scientifically, cats were proven to be more intelligent than dogs by a substantial degree. It's just that they're so smart that they don't take orders from people like dogs do. Like dogs can be trained almost to stupidity to just do whatever you tell them.
Right. Oh, yeah. Cat is stubborn. and she's like really stubborn. And
yeah, cats will
she
do what
doesn't.
they do if when they're good and ready to do something, they'll do it.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
I have to kind of like tell her, you better listen. You know, I'm not mean to her or anything, but I just say, no, come on now, come on. Like she now remember a year ago she was biting me and she was wild, a feral cat. But now I can take her head and move it away from the food bowl and say, move over here now. It's amazing how tame she got after a year. When a year ago she was just trying to bite me and scratch me. And talking about the feminist movement, I used to teach high school history, and you know, I know about this, what James is talking about, this anti-male feminist faction, and it really goes back to the late 1950s. And I better not talk about this. This is a little controversial, but I don't guess James is afraid of controversy.
Well, I was listening to a video that goes into the history of that faction of feminism, and they went immediately into the beginnings of Cosmopolitan magazine with Helen Gurley Brown, who actually put a lot of semi-truths and false propaganda in the magazine to push this lifestyle that the man-hating faction of the feminists wanted. They wanted women to be more like men and go out and have lots of promiscuity, fornication. Yeah, high body.
Promoted it. And if you look at the 1950s, this feminist movement, there was a book that was written in, I think, 1958 called The Feminine Mystique. And it was written by Betty Friedan.
Oh, what an ugly woman she was, Betty Friedan.
And you had people like Betty Friedan, Bella Abzug, Gloria Steinem, and so forth. And there's one thing these women all had in common, and it wasn't that they were Presbyterians, if you follow what I'm saying.
No, they're Bella Abzug, another beauty queen, and they were Jill Steinem. Gloria Steinem. Yeah, they were. They weren't the type that gets hit on at all.
Well, what I'm alluding to is that they all came from a certain ethnic group, which has its own country and with the capital.
They come from a specific lobbying group that is only concerned with power, and the neoliberals of the Democratic Party pander to them.
Right. Now,
and
there is a reason why these women had so much anger and anti-male feeling. So we look at the heritage of that particular tribe of people. If you look at their heritage, the men dominate the women as though they are slaves, especially in the Orthodox world. So the women are looked at, the wives are looked at as like a slave, a possession. And they're dominated, and they have their job is to have babies and cook and do what they're told. Can you hear me?
Well, those feminists, with the help of Helen Gurley Brown of Cosmo magazine, they told women, don't settle down, don't get married, have a career, pursue a career, put off. They kept saying,
right.
And
don't let that man mess you up.
Right.
So they have a lot of access to the, Jewish people have a lot of access to the media, television, radio, newspaper. And so they started promoting this. Now, one group of people they had very little success with was stirring up black women. They were saying, yeah, don't you feel oppressed? And the black women are like, yeah, but not from the men. We don't hate men. We like men.
They said, don't take care of a man. Don't do his laundry. Don't cook for him. Don't clean his house. Don't have his children. Have a career. Pursue a career. Burn your bras.
Right.
I remember
that went nowhere. Now a lot of white women went along with it, but that had no success with black women, almost none, really, literally none. And they were like, "Look, girl, I don't know what your problem is. I like my man." You know.
Remember when Billie Jean King had the tennis match with Bobby Riggs, and Billie Jean King was they were on the Odd Couple. They did an Odd Couple episode, and Bobby Riggs was the male chauvinist. Riggs Pigs. He was trying to get Felix Unger to join it. And, they made a big deal about it, but unfortunately, it totally changed the attitude for the worse with women, and there went the heterosexual dating.
Yeah. And she claimed she proved that women could beat men in tennis. Yeah, she was 27 years old, and Bobby Riggs was like 53. He was washed up. And I mean, if she wanted to prove that women were better than men in tennis, she should have took on Jimmy Connors. Let's see how that would have gone.
Right, or Arthur Ashe in those days, or so on and so forth.
Yeah, let's see how well she'd have done against Jimmy Connors.
Yeah, I just want to say something, just briefly, not to change the subject or anything. BC, I assure you that we have no intentions whatsoever to use any image of you in public or on live stream. So you're getting all worked up over nothing. Okay. Remember, it almost only applies to horseshoes and hand grenades. You know, and
I think BC's taking it the wrong way. It's kind of like a bunch of guys hanging out at the bar playing pool. They're going to give each other the business. You're going to give your friends are going to give you the business. They're going to give. They're still your friends. You know, they're not doing it maliciously.
What do you think? What do you think guys do? What do you think guys do in the locker room? They bust each other's balls. They don't dislike one another. They don't hate one another. It's just like it's the way men communicate. You know,
if you watch Goodfellas, they're giving each other the business. Like they got Johnny 2 times because he always said everything twice. So they call him Johnny 2 times. Now they didn't call him 2 times because they hated him. They call him Johnny 2 times because he'd always say things twice. I want a hamburger. I want a hamburger. You know. So, and if you fell asleep at a hangout, they're gonna start calling you Sleepyhead. You know, that's gonna be a nickname, Sleepyhead. But it's not that they don't like you, because they do like you.
Right. Like on the show, Everyone Loves Raymond. One of his friends always called him Big Nose. You know, I mean, he doesn't, you know, he doesn't dislike or hate him. You know, they're all buddies. It's just the way it is. And here we have an ultra sensitive individual that's that can't take life, that takes life too seriously. Okay, making his comment. And hold on, I see something here. I see Gabriel Solias drinking his gallon of God knows what that was.
Well, we were there when this. You and I were there when this.
Oh yeah, that was a private video chat, which we very rarely do because people that we know just don't do them.
Right.
Every time we do it, and you send invitations out, they all say they're busy.
Everybody's busy.
Yeah, everybody's busy.
That was a big beer. He was too big, almost pretty much triple IPAs.
I mean, he could wash his freaking underwear in that mug. It was so big.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example, Jane. Let me give you an example.
Sure.
All right. I was standing up. I get tired of sitting. Down. You know.
No, it hurts the lower back when you sit too long.
Got enough posters for the ceiling, huh? Okay. So when I was born with a genetic disorder where my skin stretches like rubber and it cuts real easy. So I got cut a lot, had to get stitches, had to get 10 stitches 2 years ago on my arm.
Oh,
My
wow.
daughter has my daughter has it real bad. My father has it. It's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a collagen disorder where your skin does not connect to the collagen. You have skin,
Right.
but it doesn't connect right.
Yeah,
So,
well, vitamin C is very important for building collagen, by the way.
right. So Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is bad. But you're born with it. It ain't going to go away. You can't do anything about it. A lot of people have it. They don't even know they have it. Okay. So my skin stretches like rubber. All right, look at it.
Okay.
Like, see? Like you see the circus, the Elastic Man, those are people that have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Yeah. There was a superhero my grandfather used to tell me from comic books that was, they called him Rubber Man or Elastic Man or
Elastic Man.
Or now I'm thinking about the Rubber Band Man by the Spinners.
When I was in high school, people used to say, stretch your skin, you know, and I didn't really feel like doing it, but I said, all right. So what do you think my nickname was in junior high and high school?
What was it?
Stretch.
Oh, like Stretch Cunningham.
Hey, Stretch, what are you doing? What's going on, Stretch? Well, I mean, they said it because they like me, you know, and they're actually making fun of a genetic disorder. It's not really, you know, cool, you know, but
yeah,
well, I didn't get offended. I didn't say, y'all, you know, y'all can go to hell. I'm never gonna hang out with you guys again. How dare you make fun of my genetic disorder?
Well, yeah, but you know, young guys are cruel. They were that way when I was in school. You know, that's
right. If you had a kid that was maybe had trouble walking because of whatever he was born with, they were going to call him Crip. You know, I mean, it's not nice.
Right.
But
Or they might call him Crip or Gimpy or something.
Yeah. So you're just giving BC a hard time, like guys in a bar and all. It's not malicious. I don't think it's malicious, but maybe I'm reading it wrong. But I don't think
you know, it really, when he sleeps, he looks like he's got a like an infant look. You know, when an infant is fast asleep and their cheeks they got chubby cheeks and everything, you know, and they make their lips like a cherub, you know, like Cupid.
Yeah.
You know, believe me, there's no negative connotation or negative thoughts going through our head when he.
No, I don't want DC to stop hanging out and doing beer reviews with us.
No, I listen. If I say his image is not going to go public, I mean it. I'm serious about it. You know. Now, I mean, he's mad because we did a print screen, but you know, we're not. That doesn't mean we're going to use it.
Right.
I'll give you permission to use my face.
Well, I had you
give me more views and subscriptions and likes.
Well, I had you in the center. Jason had a photo of you like you were really pissed off, or you were sneering, a sneer. Like Jason, are you still watching?
Probably not. No, I don't know. Maybe he is.
Do you have that photo of Ron that I'm talking about? That was in the middle of the. Maybe you can. Let me see. Well, anyway.
Now those Canadian guys who hate me, they used to use.
Welcome to the club.
Those yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Those Canadian guys who hate me, they used to use my face all the time in their hangouts and all, and they thought it was making me angry. It wasn't making me angry. One time they said they had a picture of me and I was making a face like,
yeah.
And they said he looks like a ship captain that had a stroke.
They used to call,
I thought it was funny, you know.
They used to call what I do on the internet "Massa Two Shits" beer review.
Yeah, they said you're a fool, you're an idiot. Nobody cared about your channel. Well, apparently they care.
Oh, yeah.
They must have cared.
Where are they now? What are they doing now?
Nothing. Their channel it just deteriorated because it was full of hate, anger, talking about, you know, it's just horrible. I unsubscribe, you know, because I want it to be beer reviews, not all this like craziness, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Remember that song by Helen Reddy? I Am Woman. That was a man-hating feminist song.
It was, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
I think woman, hear me roar.
I think she took the big dirt sleep.
She was from Canada. I'm eating some chips. I bought these chips. It's called Calidad.
What? Oh, Calidad. Yeah, white corn tortillas. Is that guacamole, Ronald?
Oh, it's guacamole, all right, and it's hot.
Oh, that's a heaping helping of guacamole too.
And it's hot. I only buy the hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Spicy. Not too hot.
Yeah. Now we were talking about the photo of Ronald that was in the middle of the wheel where he's sneering. I was just wondering if you can post that on WhatsApp, and then I could show Ronald which one it was. Anyway, that's great. I mean, when I used to go to that buffet before the pandemic, I mean, once in a while he would put out a huge tray of guacamole, and I liked it because it was chunky. You know, it had the guacamole smashed, and then it had like pieces of avocado.
That's what this has. Look at the chunks. It's got chunks, and it's got the red peppers in it.
Wow, look at that. Wow. Yeah, he's mad, Jason. He's mad because he saw what I posted in the private section, and I told him we're not going to use it. What can we do? And you know, the reason why it was used in the past is because he's so sensitive, and he was angry for a long period of time. He's very touchy.
Touchy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, he has to keep doing this.
Come on back, BC. Let's just forget it.
Yeah, forget about it, because you know,
I'll be right back.
If you make a if I say I'm not going to use your image, and you're going to make a big deal out of this and be upset, you know, this is the reason why we use your image, because it was ridiculous. I think I used it one time, then you got really upset, and then I didn't hear from you. We didn't communicate for a long period, and then I just, you know, we said, oh, you're gonna be that way. Then we kept on using it.
Tanya Makowski does have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and she's got it worse because it's internal. She got the internal problem. She had a headache for like 9 years straight.
Wow, a headache for 9 years straight. That's worse than the people who have migraines, right?
I'd rather have bad skin and get cut sometimes than have a headache for 9 years. But Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, that's some bad stuff. You don't want it, believe me. But I don't have, you know, it affects my joints. Like, look at my thumbs. 90-degree angle, look at that.
Wow. Yeah, this is about all I can do.
And your joints come out of joint. Like, look at my thumb. They come out of joint. Nobody's thumb should do that, you know?
So, in other words, when you're walking around in general, let's say you walked out on the porch or you walked outside, you have to really be careful what you scrape up against.
Oh, you can get sliced open so easy. The cat sliced me open just playing, you know. My daughter's had stitches on her knees so bad.
I mean, it's like if your daughter had rose bushes and she was talking, moving her hands around, and accidentally scraped her arm up against the rose bush, she could get like badly cut.
And you can get bruised up so easily, so bruised. So it's hell. It's hell to have it. But what can you do? You're born with it, and not much you can do about it.
You needed a feral cat taking wax at you like a leopard, like you needed a hole in the head.
Right. And she sliced my leg open twice in the last 2 months. But she was just playing, you know. Yeah, I have. Who's had it the worst? Jason? I think my daughter has it really bad. My first cousin has it pretty damn bad. My father's sister, his two brothers have it. My grandfather had it bad. But here's the thing about it. If you have children and they don't have it, they'll never pass it on. It's not recessive. In other words, I have it, but my sister does not have it. She was not born with it. So none of her descendants will ever have it. Unless they marry a husband, maybe. Oh, Eric.
That's not bad. That's good that, you know, if you don't have it, your children will not get it.
Right.
Spicy ghost pepper, spicy chicken flavored.
Oh, boy.
I guess Asian noodle soup.
Looks like health food to me.
Scoville heat. It gives you the Scoville heat unit.
I bet the sodium is very low.
Oh, let's take a look, shall we? Boiling the water as we speak. Can we see this? Come on.
No, it's too blurry. Okay, sodium, 41%, 946.
Wow.
Really? Holy shit.
41% of my daily sodium right there, baby.
You're gonna have a stroke. All right.
No, I hope not. It's got some
Tonight.
calcium.
Tonight.
We're gonna try this and see what it's like. It's gonna be hot. We'll see. Spicy, flaming spicy madness.
Flaming spicy madness.
I was gonna do this with a buddy of mine, but I'm kind of hungry now. I'll give him another. I'll give him another cup. I was supposed to come in a 6-pack. They only gave me 2 from eBay or from Amazon, so they refunded me. Luckily, they refunded me the money because the 6-pack was like $28 goddamn, and they only gave me 2 of them. I'm like, you're gonna give me the other 4 and ship them out to me at your expense, please. And they go, oh, I'll just refund you. I'm like, okay. Why would they advertise that? It's a, anyways, it's a product. Can we even see that? No, you can't. Blurry as hell. It's a product of Malaysia. Product of Malaysia.
Yeah, too bad. Too bad they have to put so much sodium in.
Yeah, all these ramen noodle bowls are kind of like that you get in this country. But you go to the actual. I don't know how different it is, but I feel like it's different when you go to the actual Japanese restaurant and you get a good bowl of ramen. We got a place in town that actually does a pretty decent job at the ramen, and you don't notice quite the amount of sodium from an actual really good cooked bowl versus these little plastic bowls you get online.
Yeah, I've been. I've noticed. I've been buying the noodles separate. And oh, here we go again. Gabriel Salaya. If Gabriel Salaya is going to be setting off, you know what?
Like
let me mute.
Oh yeah, he's sending me the photo too.
Let me mute.
Wow, do you see the photo though?
Yeah, I see it. $7,999
for a liter of Remy Martin. Damn. All right. Well, I'm gonna see where this boiling water is. We will be back to try the hottest ramen on the planet of Earth. Hey, yeah. All right. I like to take the noodles, throw away the seasoning packet, and make carbonara out of it. That's my little hack.
Yeah, I remember when you.
You like this man, Marishan? You like Marishan?
It's all right. Nothing to write home about.
Okay, now we're cooking. Now I got. Thanks to Jason. Thank you, Jason. So it's me, Ronald, and Eric. Just want to show him this. Hey, what happened? Oh, here we go.
Hey, you guys. Did I show?
Oh,
that's a beautiful. That's a handsome guy.
Yeah, this is somebody you know well.
that guy that used to be in that That's that guy that used to be in that TV show about the guy, the teacher that was making the methamphetamine at his house and selling it. What was the name of that series?
I think I missed that one.
Yeah.
So many sitcoms.
I don't watch those HBO. I don't watch anything but sports and football, sports and and the news.
And you know what I avoid on Netflix? I avoid series, because if you don't watch every one,
no,
you get totally
I show
thrown.
you what my next door neighbor gave me. Eric was talking about cognac. After the hurricane, my fence got blown down. I had no fence. So
Right.
my yard,
no carport.
no carport. So the next door neighbor and I could look into their yard. They could look into mine. I would go hang out with them. We had no electricity. We had no water. We had no water. It's hell when you have no running water, believe me. Oh, Breaking Bad. Yeah. Whoever was in that wheel looked like that guy on Breaking Bad. Okay. Yeah, he looked like the guy on Breaking Bad. All right. So we were sitting out on their porch in the heat because, I mean, there was no electricity. You may as well sit outside, right? Hell. And the lady was like, "Do you like cognac?" My next door neighbor. I said, "Well, yeah, it's all right. I like it." And she said, "We went to this estate sale. Her and her husband go to estate sales." I said, "Okay." She said, "I bought this bottle of cognac for $1. Would you like it?" I said, "I'm not over here to take your liquor." She said, "Well, I'll show it to you." I said, "Okay." So she brought it out, unopened, corked. It was a cork. No, it was never opened. And she showed it to me. She said, I said, "Biscuit? That sounded like some kind of breakfast something."
Yeah, Bisquick. Yeah.
Biscuit VS. So I was like, "What the hell is this?" You know, excuse my language. "What the heck is this?" So she said, "Well, I got it for $1. It was never opened. It's a 3-star brandy, cognac." I started looking at the label and it had a tax stamp on the side. And I figured out this was produced in 1954. A bottle from 1954, unopened. She said, "You can have it." I said, "What?" "Oh, yeah, you can have it." So she gave it to me unopened. So we took the cap off, but then the cork was so dry rotted, it what do you call it? Disintegrated into the brandy, cognac brandy. So we had to take a screw thing and get the cork out. So now the brandy, cognac brandy, is full of cork. So what did we do? She went inside and got a coffee filter and a funnel. And we put the cognac through the coffee filter and it dripped back into the bottle and took all the cork out. So I've been drinking on this. Man, I've never had a brandy this old. This cognac is from 1954. And I checked the website.
Wow.
It's a real company. There was a man named Andre Biscuit. That was his last name, Andre Biscuit. And the company is still in business. And they've been making cognac since 1819. 1819.
Wow.
Well, isn't that a great gift?
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather had one from the 70s that we got that we're still working on. That's an interesting, but it still has like yours. It probably has that tax stamp, that tax little.
Yeah, because those were required in 1983. You had to have a tax stamp until 1983, and so amazing that they only paid $1 for it.
Oh wow! Whoa!
They paid $1 for a full unopened bottle of cognac from 1954.
Oh, okay.
At an estate sale.
That's amazing.
Oh boy, the aroma is primo.
Yeah. Did you tell me what did you put in the eggnog last Christmas? Was it bourbon or was it cognac or was it a blend? You said that you tried alternative to rum.
Oh no! Well, no. What happened was I didn't buy any raw eggnog. The only eggnogs I bought were pre-mixed with their own liquor in them. but I put cinnamon on the top to add some spice to it. But I bought rums with brandy. I'm sorry. I bought eggnogs with brandy, rum, different blended whiskeys, depending on the brand. So yeah, they're pretty interesting in that respect. I've never seen a eggnog with cognac, but I guess they probably exist. Yeah.
See what I do with the eggnog. When you buy separate eggnog from the grocery store, you get it really icy cold. But then again, if I'm at my sister's house, she has the ice machine in the freezer. She has an ice machine in hers. Okay.
I have ice trays.
Ice trays, yeah. Well, that's what I have here. But she's got the machine where it goes plop, plop, plop. You hear the plop, 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 plop of the cubes.
I don't trust those machines after what happened to my grandmother in 1995. No.
Something happened. Why? You mean it was out of control?
My grandmother told me, we're going out of town. She used to live here in my town. My grandmother lived here in my town for 7 years. So she said, we're going out of town. Go check on my house while I'm gone. I said, okay, I had a key. And so I went over to her house and I opened the door and water poured out the door.
Shit.
Water poured out the door.
Oh, wow.
What happened was the ice machine on the fridge had a little hose that sent water to the ice machine. So
yeah, but instead it sent it out.
So the water would go in and freeze.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the little hose that went into the back of the fridge came loose while they were on the trip. And the hose was just sitting there like this, and water was coming out of it. And her whole house filled up with about 1 inch of water. And I hurried up and I reattached it to the ice machine, and I took a broom and I swept all the water outside. And I told my grandmother, I said, I got bad news. Your entire house is filled with water. And all the rugs were like saturated.
Right. And they start to stink of mildew.
I had to bring them outside and wring them all out and let them lay up.
Yeah,
Luckily, I went back there and let them lay in the sun on a rack. And after that, I said to myself, you know what? It's not that hard to put ice in a tray.
To fill a tray up with water.
Yeah, fill water in a tray.
So now, what about, does she have wooden floors that were ruined?
Well, luckily, she had vinyl flooring that mimicked wood. You know, the kind of flooring that vinyl looks like wood.
I think they call it pergo or something. I have it here. It looks like real wood, but it's not. You can mop it. You can get a bucket and you can mop it.
Yeah, so I just swept it all out, and her air conditioner was on, so then it dried it out, and she saved everything. But I got so paranoid after that. I said, I'll never buy a refrigerator with an ice machine, because what happens if I go on a trip and the same thing happens? You know,
and it could. And so her carpets must have. Well, luckily you put them out in the sun.
I wrang them out real well. And I put them over the clothesline and let them sit out in the sun. And so by the time they got back home from their trip, they were dry. So nothing was ruined, but it was so.
Yeah. Well, the excess, if you hang them over a clothesline, gravity will cause all the water to drip and run out of the carpet. And then with the air circulation and the sun hitting it, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
It's fine. But after that, I said to myself, how difficult is it to put water in an ice tray and put it in the fridge? It doesn't take any effort. So I'm never in an ice machine. No way. And when they start to deteriorate, you'll start seeing metal flakes in the ice. And I don't want metal in my ice.
No, you don't want that either. That's a type of fiber you don't want in your intestinal tract. I mean, the way I do the eggnog is the way Jerry Seinfeld does his ice cream sundae. I put the cinnamon, the nutmeg, and the rum at the bottom of an empty glass. Okay. Then some ice cubes, some, because you don't want like a watered down tasting eggnog.
No.
Some, right, within reason. Then you put your eggnog in this way. As you take this chopstick or whatever you're using as a swizzle stick, the ingredients on the bottom, the rum, the nutmeg, and the cinnamon, you have equal distribution of these into the eggnog. So now when you go and sip the eggnog, it's all even. Now the same thing applies to ice cream sundaes. Ice cream, if you got hot fudge on the bottom, then or chocolate syrup, but you don't have to worry about the hot fudge dripping on the outside of your.
Right. You just mix it up with a spoon and get what you want.
Right. So there's even distribution of all the ingredients.
The noodles, got the beer.
Got Gansett.
I'm gonna need this.
Narragansett lager. Ooh, that was
I'm gonna need that. And here is, I put it in a nice bowl. Wow. Uh-oh. This is going to be spicy.
Oh, that's Eric's official Asian noodle bowl. Thank you, Jason.
Eric's nickname is Quint.
Crush him like Quint. Oh, there you go.
See now he has a place to rest. See, Jason, he has a groove to put the chopsticks in.
Yeah, let me. I'll do that really quickly. There's a.
Show him how the chopsticks sit in the groove.
Put it in that way. It's pretty good. I'm gonna need this beer. It's not one of them heavily fruited sours. It's not a lactic IPA.
It's just a good.
I'm gonna need something. And I brought the sriracha in case I need it. Which why would I need that?
It's a good, clean, crisp lager.
Right, mass produced in Rochester, New York.
So it's nowhere near the Narragansett Bay of Rhode Island.
No. All right, there you go. All right. This spicy, a million Scoville unit black dry noodles. Let's see what they're like.
It's probably named after Narragansett Indians.
Well, Narragansett was an independent company. They had their own brewery in Rhode Island, but just like the rest, they went downhill, and then a big company bought them out, and now they're here in New York.
Well, the bay is called the Narragansett Bay.
Yep.
I believe we had to go over it to get to Newport.
Sounds about right. Yeah, that's where Newport's on the Narragansett Bay. Yeah.
I found to be a very lovely town, Newport, Rhode Island.
Indian name, Narragansett. Okay, Eric, there he goes.
There you go. That's where I got my bosun's whistle, by the way.
Smells a little spicy. Let's see. Newport. I did the Korean fire noodle on my channel. I never did this. I should have done this separately, but who cares? We're here now. Let's see what a million Scoville units are like from a ghost pepper. Flaming spicy madness.
Well, Jason, everybody's different. Some people are more sensitive, so we got to be sensitive.
Yeah, I put my face in the middle just to prove a point, and it didn't do any good. It just didn't do any good.
Ha.
That is woo.
He's suffering.
That's tingly. Ooh. It's not even in the front or the it's not the front of the palate. It's all in the middle towards the back of the palate.
Your lips are red like you put lipstick on. Is that from the pepper?
Well, this is it comes with a spicy what do you call that thing? A sauce packet you put in. So it creates that color on your lips.
Oh yeah. Oh, James, did you see that photo of that little Chinese joint I posted on Everything is Food? That little Chinese joint.
No, I gotta check it out.
Arkansas. Yeah, I couldn't find a good photo. That was the ultimate joint. Look at Eric.
I mean, a Chinese takeout, or they have tables?
Oh, they had tables. I'm gonna post some photos of inside the restaurant in the next few days. I went in that place, and the lady says, "Look at Eric."
You need sriracha on that? Why would they give you sriracha in the mail with this?
I bet that lager is really good going down with.
Ooh, tastes like nothing at this point. Oh my!
You're gonna have to get a second lager after that.
Hey Eric, you did it to yourself. I
appreciate your.
Well, he wanted ghost pepper. with the Scovilles going to the roof.
You chose this.
I mean, you know, the thing with like the scorpion chili of Trinidad, the ghost pepper of I think it's northeastern India, and the Carolina Reaper is you don't taste your food anymore. You just taste fire.
When I went to that Chinese restaurant on Thursday at 11 a.m.,
yeah,
I go in there and the lady's in there and she said, "What you want?" I said, "Well, it is 11 a.m. I'm in a restaurant. One would assume."
What you want? What you want? You say I want to.
I said, "I want to eat." She said, "Okay. Where you want to sit?" I said, "I'll sit right here in this booth." "Okay. I'll bring you menu." So I sat down, and she said, "What you want to drink?" I said, "Water." "Okay, water. I'll go get water."
Maybe she needs her ears cleaned or something. She's.
But does that really sound like the norm, or does that sound like the norm?
Yeah, they yell at each other. They when they turn around and give the order to the cooks, they scream.
So she came back and she said, "What you want to get?" I said, "Give me the sweet and sour chicken." "Okay, sweet and sour chicken. I'll go tell sweet and sour chicken." Sweet sour chicken. I go tell me you make it. Oh, it was great though, James. It was really good. You know. Anyway, Eric, you're suffering.
It's going well.
I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy.
No sympathy. No, they can't say sweet and sour pork. They go sweet sour pork. They go pork. P-O-K. Sweet sour pork.
She just says, "Sweet sour pork." "Okay, I'll go back. I'll go get." And then later she said, "How you like?" I said, "It's good. It's really good." "Okay, good. You like it, Eric, or you don't like it?"
What are you gonna say to somebody that's screaming at you? You know, it's hard.
I will tell you that I've had a lot of different ramen noodles, and I really actually, I mean, you saw it on the nutritional facts. I really don't like the sodium content. That's really it really is pretty rich in salty flavors.
Yeah, too much salt.
Super salty, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And I don't know the difference between, say, you're eating your normal Maruchan style and then eating a this dry black noodle. I don't really know what the difference is. It tastes a little different. The dry black noodle.
No, black noodle. The only
Mathern's, they sell craft style ramen noodles, but you know.
Wow, that sounds better than what I mean.
The only black noodle I ever had was actually a black fettuccine made with squid ink.
That sounds good.
They mixed squid ink into the whatever it was, semolina flour.
Sure.
Dough, and it was it was totally black, and when you cooked it, the smell of calamari. It had that calamari aroma, and it was good.
I tell you what though, James. When I went to that restaurant and the lady was yelling at me like that and saying, "Okay, sit down here," I knew the food was going to be great. It was awesome.
The more ethnic they behave, and family style, you know, with no elegance, no atmosphere, no pinky up in the air when they, you know, when they're like that, you're getting good, authentic family style cooking.
Oh, it was one of the best Chinese meals I ever had. Oh, look at that! It was dynamite.
It's just like when we went to Johnny's Reef. It was
no elegance.
Open cafeteria style, family style. No elegance, no atmosphere, no Italian guy with dressed like the Monopoly man with tails and with a big long pepper mill. "Would you like some fresh ground black pepper?" Going like this in your dish, which means
fresh ground black pepper right there.
It was right there at the end of the island, right there in New York Sound.
Right.
But boy, the food and the value was so good. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and when you're getting anything that resembles family style cooking without, any fancy hoity-toity atmosphere, you're going to get a good value for the money.
You saw how big that shrimp salad was.
Oh yeah. Oh,
no one could eat a shrimp salad that big, and it was jumbo shrimp. Those were jumbos. And I got a huge shrimp salad and a Budweiser beer, and the total price was $20, and you had no service, so you didn't pay a tip.
Now, now the same meals at a place called at a rip-off place. When I say rip-off, I mean it. Like Legal Seafood, right? You go there, it's gonna cost way over $30 for the same seafood dish with the atmosphere and all that crap. Now, the guy, those shrimp were really jumbo. Sometimes they cheat you and they say jumbo and they're large shrimp.
These were jumbos.
Yeah, those were jumbos.
And entire boiled eggs in the salad, full boiled eggs, an entire tomato cut up in the salad. Oh, Qingdao beer at the Chinese restaurant. Yeah, unfortunately, Jason, that Chinese restaurant's out of business because the lady is like 90 years old and she could not get her children to run it. They did not want to run it. The young people do not want to run the restaurant, so it's gone.
But that's typical.
She would get to the restaurant at 4 a.m. every morning and hand make each egg roll. They had the best egg rolls in the city. Look at Eric. They had the best egg rolls in the city. Fong's. It's on YouTube. I got it on YouTube. Fong's. If you watch that video, you'll regret that you never got to go to Fong's. Believe me.
Well, not only do they make egg rolls by hand, but those people from the other side make dumplings by hand too. And
Sounds better. Sounds good.
And wontons.
Better than what I'm eating.
And wontons.
You don't like it, huh, Eric?
It's really hot, and really the salty content is taking me back a little bit.
Wait,
I like ramen noodle that's spicy. But this is different to me even than that one chip challenge. I heard somebody say that online, that this bowl of ramen felt to them hotter than a Carolina Reaper, that one chip challenge. And I can see why that somebody would say that. Maybe it's the way that the sauce is clinging to every little nuance of that noodle that is like giving you the maximum amount of its spicy heat. Like I'm in hell right about now.
When you wake up tomorrow morning, your stomach is going to be burning like fire.
Oh, well, we're going to see what happens in the next, I don't know, 25 minutes, half an hour, because when I did that one chip challenge last Halloween, I hadn't really eaten a whole bunch the whole day. I had a really good steak and cheese egg scramble this morning, which was really good. And that was about all I've eaten today. So hopefully me not having anything else between like 10:30 and now in the stomach, hopefully that doesn't wreak any havoc in the next 25-30 minutes. But it did with the one chip challenge. It felt like my innards were going to come right into that toilet bowl. That was fun.
Yeah, sounds like something I would not want to do. Thank you, but
no thanks. Nope, don't do this. Do not do this, Ron.
No thanks. No thanks. No. All right. Well, James, it's almost time for me to go watch the news at the top of the hour. I know it's too bad they closed the doors, and they had been open since the 1940s. They had been open since the 1940s.
Wow. You ever see traditional homemade fresh noodles being made by a Chinese person? The way when they bang them on the table.
You mean these?
They twist it and they bang it. Every time they bang it, they separate into more noodles. They twirl it.
I never saw that.
Yeah, they stretch it out and they twirl it and then whack. And every time they whack it, of course they put flour on the table.
In San Diego?
Yeah, no. The song South Park. No, when they slam it, it separates into more noodles. But
who hasn't been coming around for months? Claude Diamond. He was hot on the channel, and now Claude Diamond just disappeared. Like,
oh yeah, he's in San Diego.
I thought Claude did a pretty good show on his YouTube channel.
He's kind of educating people on what he does, on.
He's got his own channel. And he's got his own channel. And he's got a lot of followers. But he used to come on my channel all the time and make comments. But he disappeared overnight, you know, and you never see him again.
Yeah, well, I think he teaches salesmanship, which I'm not in favor of, because that's the skill.
Making money off of poor saps, right?
Well, that's the skill of getting innocent
people to buy stuff that
I'm an innocent bystander.
Their objective is to get people to part with their money that they really can't afford to part.
Car salesman.
Right. In other words, this gold-plated, it's not really gold-plated. This gold-plated kazoo is very high-tech, and NASA, a guy from NASA developed it, and I think it'll sound better than any other. So you're bullshitting people. You make up a story. You know, you take a little bit of truth and you exaggerate. You embellish, whatever you want to call it, exaggerate, and you get people.
No, I just wish Claude Diamond would come back. But yeah, Jason watched the video he did about the recession. I didn't see it, but
you don't want to Jeff Zen bellow it. No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't like all that. I don't like all that ultra hot stuff. That gimmick food.
Yes, it's gimmick food. 120%, Ron.
Yeah.
Well, I like more subdued flavors, you know.
Yeah. When I eat chicken wings, I like spice, but I like to eat the chicken wing because I bought chicken, right?
Yeah. Claude is a bit on the conservative side. He's a capitalist, and but you know he has his show, and he can have other people that think like him on his show.
Yeah, I just wish he would come back and start making comments again, you know.
Well, I liked his.
He liked tequila. He was a tequila man.
Yeah, I liked his liquor review. His liquor reviewing. I liked his liquor reviewing, not anything else, but his.
You are absolutely correct, James. This bowl of ramen made a artificial looking red lips on me. It's not because it's hot. It's the sauce discolored.
All right, hey, listen to me, Jason. Get ready. Now I want you to pucker like a goldfish with the flames in the back. You ready, Jason? Do it.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. Let the lips stick out like you're a cross dresser. Let the lips stick out like a goldfish. You ready, Jason? Do it.
At least I'm metal when I do it. Judas Priest.
God, Zook. Okay. Before you leave, I want to do a little promo for your shows.
Wednesday is any Taylor dessert wine, and I think there's a rival show at the same time called Wildcard Wednesday.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, and Eric has Wild Card Wednesday, and you have any Taylor dessert wine, and the 27th.
Eric, I have an idea, Eric.
You want to do one of those Jetsons meets the Flintstones collaboration?
No.
Yeah, Wolfman.
My idea is that you cancel Wild Card Wednesday and examine any Taylor wine. That's just an idea.
Cancel.
Yeah, you know, like
I would like to do both, but I can't cancel that.
Wait, how do you do both? Wait a minute. Well,
you have to go on both shows and mute every time you talk to Ron, and then mute every time you talk to the
You could do Wild Card Wednesday. You could do Wild Card Wednesday at 8:30.
Wait a minute.
Enjoy the Taylor wine.
If you did Wild Card Wednesday on Firefox and then brought up went on Ronald's show on Chrome.
Oh my God. Ron Ontario talks about this thing being like a switchboard. Holy nightmare, Batman.
It is a switchboard.
Yeah, people on your show, we said, what are you talking about?
So the problem is, there's really no problem, and there's really no competition. There's really none of that anywhere in the three of our communities that we congregate with. However, say what you will about that. I plead the fifth that there actually is some kind of controversies. I'm not a part of that. However, the only like really controversial part about any of that, minimal by standards here, is that somehow Ron started. Bargain Hunter started doing all these Wednesday shows. Then I was joining him for seems like the last 8, 9, 10 years there. Really,
yeah.
I mean, it really has been since 2012. So 10 years, right? And then some varying degrees of ideas on what's the real interest on keeping a Wednesday show. I've had a great interest in wanting to keep a Wednesday show. You found some interest in reviving your Wednesday program, and then it seemed like everybody else under the sun that's coming in to some of the craft beer programs go, that's a cool day, Wednesday. And then there's like 4 programs on a Wednesday night all of a sudden. Crazy,
right.
Man.
Yeah. The only reason I wanted to change because I wanted to do themes.
Right.
I wanted to go back to when we did themes. Themes.
Right.
It wasn't really a competition. All right, James wants to do promos. I'm going to go off and watch the news. What do you got to say? Because I got to go watch.
No, I'm just going to say this Wednesday, any Taylor wine, July 27th, any dessert wine. Doesn't have to be Taylor.
Okay, interesting.
And that's it. And then Fandango Friday, this Friday.
Every Friday. And that's not really a competition. And after that, you can go do food and beer.
Let's do on Fandango Friday. Let's do jalapeno liqueurs and spicy noodles.
You could bring anything.
Well, the problem with doing themes on Fandango Friday, some people like James have trouble getting anything.
Drizzly.
So,
You love Drizzly?
Well, I already have a stock of Fandango airline bottles. Yeah, I'm not going to go searching.
That's perfect if you can find different things. It's hard with really nicer whiskeys to find airplane bottles. Nicer whiskeys.
Yeah. Well,
it's hard to find samples.
It's hard to find top shelf hooch in an airline bottle. I mean, sometimes you can. I mean, I found 12-year. I found the Buchanan's 12.
Oh, I like Buchanan's.
I did a single malt. The
best value's gotta be just plain black label Evan Williams.
Single malt.
I gotta go because I'm going to watch the news, y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna bang up the show anyway.
You're gonna bang it up. All right,
thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody. We'll talk later.
We'll talk. Yeah, well, I guess BC is pissed off again.
Oh man, he'll get over it. I hope. All right.
Yeah, but anyway, listen. Take care. Thank you for coming.
You too. You're welcome.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining me for Progressive Discussions. We've been on for a while, 3 hours, and I'm going to have a huge venison burger with some broccoli, stir-fried broccoli. Let's see if I missed any other. Let me check this one. Let me see what this one's about.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never need a dentist again.
Continuing with this trend of a judicial coup.
Well, maybe I could do this. Okay, I'm going to bring this up on the screen. We'll do one for the road. How's that sound, everybody? This has to do with climate change. It's from Young Turks, Anna and St. Iker of the Young Turks. Okay. Has to do with climate change.
Continuing with this trend of a judicial coup, the Supreme Court has just restricted the Environmental Protection Agency's ability to effectively respond to climate-related matters. Now, what was the issue at hand? Well, in a 6-3 decision, of course, divided among ideological lines, the majority, the conservative majority, ruled that Congress did not authorize the EPA to induce a shift to cleaner energy sources using the approach that an Obama-era regulation sought to. At issue in the case was language in the Clean Air Act that enables EPA to regulate power plants using a best system of emissions reduction and what specifically that system can entail. So the idea here by the Obama administration was to honestly, slowly but surely move the country away from dirty fossil fuels, polluting fossil fuels, and toward renewable energy. And remember, Congress has delegated that power to the Environmental Protection Bureau. But what the Supreme Court is arguing here is, well, you know, the EPA doesn't have this kind of power. This is something that needs to be done through Congress, except Congress, again, under the Obama administration, delegated this to the EPA, but they're pretending like that didn't happen. So in the majority opinion penned by Chief Justice John Roberts, they determined that the Obama administration's use of a system that involved moving away from carbon-intensive coal plants and toward natural gas and renewables did not qualify. Okay, so Roberts wrote that the plan, which involved regulating the power system as a whole instead of regulating individual plants, was an unprecedented view of the EPA's authority that involved a fundamental revision of the statute, changing it from one sort of scheme of regulation into an entirely different kind. He also wrote that Congress did not grant EPA, this is not true, by the way, the authority to devise emissions caps based on the generation shifting approach the agency took in the Clean Power Plan. Again, that's according to the majority opinion, referring to the Obama-era power plant regulation.
Okay, so now let me give you context. In order to get down to about 1.5 degrees Celsius gain, which is the Paris Climate Accords, that is what we can max out at before the planet starts to burn down. Well, it's in the middle of burning down as it is anyway. This is what all the scientists in the world say. So right now, if we don't do anything else, which is where we are, what are we gonna get to instead? We're gonna go blow past that 1.5 degrees Celsius, extra since the Industrial Revolution in the Earth's average temperature. We're gonna go past 2 degrees where they say, no, warning, warning, warning. Do not go past 2 degrees Celsius extra on average for the whole world. We're now slated to go to 3.2 degrees Celsius more. That is an epic disaster. So in order to prevent that, Biden had said that he was going to have his climate goals was a 50% cut in economy-wide greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Okay, and a lot of suckers in Washington believed them. To this day, you'll still get like even some progressive leaders go, "Oh no, Biden's going to do it." When?
It's ridiculous.
And they're like, "Oh no, he's the negotiations for Build Back Better are on again secretly with Manchin."
Oh yeah. No, totally, yeah.
And so we're actually going to get big climate change. Are you kidding me? We already did a story about it. Leaks from that says that they're actually going to help fossil fuel industry, not rein it in. Why? Because Manchin literally is a owner of a fossil fuel company. He's made $5 million in the last 10 years. God knows how much more than that. He makes $500,000 a year. His son runs that company, and all of his donors are fossil fuel companies. Manchin's not going to give you a bill that reduces carbon emissions. It's going to do the opposite. So okay, so now why? Why do all these politicians say one thing and do something completely different? Well, that's easily explained. Let's go to graphic 6. This is from The Hill. To discourage Congress from supporting President Biden's climate action agenda, the 6 biggest oil and gas companies spent nearly $120 million on 746 lobbyists last year, according to the Taxpayers for Common Sense. As of April, they spent almost $50 million on campaign contributions to candidates in this year's elections. That's just through the first 4 months that they spent $50 million on the directly bribing the campaigns, and then the $120 million on lobbying. Well, why do you think politicians do things that are intensely unpopular. Actually doing something about climate change is actually very popular in the polling. About 2/3 of the country want it. Yes, you have a very loud, vocal 1/3 of the country that's Republican that's like, no, me want to be caveman. We go back into caves. But 2/3 of the country wants it. So why don't they do it? Because they got bribed. It's not at all complicated. So what do they get in return? And what do we have to deal with because of the costs? You know, they're always talking about, deficits and, balanced budgets, and we're so worried about debt. Well, back to the Hill, climate-related weather disasters in the US have already cost $765 billion in the last 5 years, including $145 billion last year. So what the hell's the money? So oil companies, you caused that damage. We had to pay, us taxpayers had to pay $145 billion in damage just last year. Oh, right, they already spent $170 million bribing the politicians so they could avoid $145 billion in costs and dump it on us after causing the disaster in the first place.
Bingo. Yep.
It's just bribery. Every reporter that covers it up is a goddamn liar. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube.
Unbelievable. I wish Joe Manchin and Sinema would just leave the Democrat Party and join the Republican Party. They are definitely saboteurs. They are definitely corrupt. They don't. All they care about is profit before people and the planet. They shouldn't even be in the Democrat Party. Joe Manchin of West Virginia, which is actually a red state, an evangelical, zealot, religious freak state, with a heaping helping of inbreds. Joe Manchin and Sinema, mostly Joe Manchin, is the problem. So instead of the Democrats being so upset over somebody like Joe Manchin being a turncoat and a traitor to them, he should just jump ship and be a Republican, which he is, you know. The two-party system is shot. It's been that way for a very long time now. It's as corrupt can be. They're all on the take. They all meet with lobbyists because they know they're going to get bribed. Like Jesse Ventura says, no politician is obligated to meet with lobbyists. You don't have to meet with lobbyists if you don't want to, but they do it. This is why people should wake up and ditch the two-party system, the two major parties, and vote progressive independent. You know, maybe the problem is political parties. Maybe the solution is not the Green Party or the Reform Party or the butternut squash party or whatever you want to come up with. Maybe the problem is parties. And like Bernie Sanders, when he created Our Revolution is a real grassroots progressive organization that doesn't take big campaign contributions from the fat cats. They take contributions from regular folks, no matter how small it is. And they're not on the take. They're not sellouts. And they just keep on putting out multitudes of real progressive qualified candidates and progressive independents, just like when Bernie Sanders runs in Vermont as a progressive independent. And that's what Americans should do. They should go with that and realize that the two-party system is totally corrupt and beyond repair. They're at a point of no return. You know, they can't be saved Forget about it. It's not going to happen. So, but will Americans wake up? Do they have enough brain cells to see the truth? Do they have enough brain cells to realize the mainstream media is controlled by the oligarch and they're being lied to? And they're being lied to by all of the establishment two-party system politicians that needed to be voted out. Example of progressive Democrats would be members of the Squad. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, all of them that are members of the Squad. Nina Turner, all the whole Squad. Those are our revolution, progressive independents. Those are the type of people you need to elect. If you're an establishment politician that takes big campaign contributions, that means if you get elected, you owe big favors. Big contributions equals big favors that you owe. And that's the corruption. That's how it works. So anyway, thank you. Catch my show next time. Subscribe. Follow all of my pages as seen on the web. They're all named Progressive Discussions. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Tumblr. I'm on Facebook. It's all the same name. So join and subscribe and touch base with us there. Okay, thank you, and have a good week. Good, safe week.